The 378 War.
There's no need for speeches this week.
Our kids are fired up, our players are fired up, our school's fired up.
Lincoln County, Washington-Wilkes. Two schools separated by 18 miles of Highway 378, joined by more than a century of tradition.
We have families here. We have couples that have married, and some are from Washington and one's from Lincolnton.
It's just one of those big games that both communities embrace.
They have played football on this site for 102 years. Tonight, two of the biggest rivals in the state of Georgia meet for the 85th time, with first place in the region on the line.
You could play 4 years of high school ball and never be a part of anything like this.
It's a treat, it's a gift.
The Red Devils.
I expect both teams to be, at their best. There's no excuses.
The Tigers.
Because they're Washington-Wilkes, they concern me.
Welcome to Game Night Live. WJBF Sports presents local high school football live in your living room each Friday night. Game Night Live is powered by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And now your hosts, John Hart and Ashley Brown.
1919, the first time they played football on these grounds. Charlie Davidson Field at Tiger Stadium in historic Washington, Georgia, Wilkes County. And the 85th battle in the 378 War between these bitter rivals, Lincoln County and number 9 Washington-Wilkes. The Red Devils come in at 5-2 overall, 2-0 in Region 8A. Washington-Wilkes 6-1 overall, also 2-0 in Region 8A. And John Hart joined, as always, by Ashley Brown. And AB, this is our most unique setup of the year. We are on the sidelines here for the 378 War tonight between Lincoln County and Washington-Wilkes. It's a big rivalry. It was a recent survey. This was voted the biggest rivalry in the state of Georgia, which is saying something. But more importantly, these two teams, whoever wins tonight, controls its own destiny for the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the atmosphere and excitement, it's small town football, which there's nothing like that in the state of Georgia. And these are two, like you said, of the best programs ever. Lincoln County, 3rd all-time in Georgia in wins, and Washington-Wilkes, 13th all-time in wins. No love lost between the two. We should have a great matchup. It's exciting. You're right, we're down on the field. What better way to watch the outstanding athlete for Washington-Wilkes, Dalen Cobb? There are a lot of good athletes on the field tonight, but he is the one I'm most excited about watching. Cobb is a dual-threat quarterback. He can run it, he can throw it, just a big-time athlete. And certainly Lincoln County is going to have to contain him tonight, but we should have ourselves a barn burner.
And that brings us to our 4 keys to the game.
Well, and I think for Lincoln County, one thing they have to do is they've got to stuff the line and make Cobb throw it. He likes to run. They pile up yardage on the ground. And then also they got to open holes for their back. Tevin Gartrell, almost 1,000 yards already this year. That'll help them control the clock and keep Cobb off the field. And for Washington-Wilkes, get their big 3 in space. One of those, of course, Cobb, and, of course, the 2 Jacksons. We'll be talking about them. And then keep their emotions in check. This is a huge game. They were the favorite big time last year and almost lost that game, a really close one with Lincoln County. Keep their emotions in check and stay calm. And the key to that is going to be Cobb keeping his team calm.
To the field for the coin toss.
Please, we'll take your coaches, all right? Okay, that's heads and that's tails. That's heads and that's tails. What are you going to call? Heads. It's tails. You've won the toss. They want the football. You want to defend the clock, is that correct? All right, if you'll put your back to the clock. Gentlemen, if you'll put your back to the other end down here. All right. Washington-Wilkes won the toss, elected to receive. Gentlemen, shake hands. Good luck to you.
What a great picture.
So the Tigers have won the toss, and they will receive the opening kickoff. It is a pink out here at Charlie Davidson Field in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness. Of course, October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's the Tigers, it's the Red Devils. Kickoff in the 378 War is next. 85th meeting between these two schools. There have been a lot of different incarnations of this rivalry. Before 1970, Lincoln County High School was Lincolnton High School. And before 1958, Washington-Wilkes was Washington High School. But when you add all of that together, the folks from Lincolnton lead the all-time series 40-38. There have been 6 ties. Lincoln County leads 34-18 since becoming Lincoln County High School, but the Tigers have won 3 of the last 4, including a 14-13 thriller last year at Larry Campbell Stadium at Buddy Bufford Field, AB.
Yeah, and we were here for that one, and again, Washington-Wilkes came in favored, maybe a little bit like they are tonight, but Lincoln County gave them all they can handle. Let's see what happens tonight.
And away we go. Jamarquez Tyson dragged down at the 10. And a great opening stop for the Red Devils.
Yeah, that was actually Gartrell, their tailback, down there on kick coverage. See, kids, don't worry. If you're a starter, you still can make plays in the special teams. Great play by Gartrell, and that'll pin Washington-Wilkes back a little bit deep in their own territory.
Okay, so as the great Larry Munson might say, get the picture here. We are located all the way at the other end of the field at the bottom right-hand corner, the southern end zone. And so the Tigers are driving toward us, but 90 yards away, and starting from their own 14-yard line.
And behind center in the shotgun is Dalen Cobb, the outstanding athlete, over 800 yards rushing on and averaging over 10 yards, right at 10 yards a carry tonight coming into the game.
There we are,
Hey,
right here, field side. There's AB and Nathan. Our statistician, Nathan Edwards. Matt Lane will join us from the field short momentarily. And a pickup of 9.
Yeah, Cobb.
Actually, a pickup of 10. They'll give him the first down.
Yeah, 80 carries for 810 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground. He's thrown for 800 with 9 more scores, has Dalen Cobb. So 21 accounted for touchdowns in their 7 games.
And Sid Fritz, the second-year head coach of the Washington-Wilkes Tigers, said this team will go tonight as Cobb goes, and the completion to Quinzavian Jackson, one of his favorite targets, his 25th catch of the year. He already has 310 yards worth of receptions.
Well, there you see, last year when Cobb threw it, we didn't see him. It was almost, I don't know if he was a little tentative, what was going on with the emotions of the game. That throw was a dart by Cobb, and of course, yeah, to his favorite the receiver, Quinzavian Jackson, who had played more of a running back role. They put him at receiver, and boy, the other Jamarquez Tyson has stepped in at running back, and there's Tyson, his first carry.
Tyson, big gain, up to the 45.
Great little stutter step there to make somebody miss. And we talked about Cobb rushing for over 800. Tyson is also over 800 with 12 TDs, 83 carries, 856 on the year. So one of those guys with a big night can go over 1,000 yards this evening.
Mentioned Sid Fritz, 17-3 in his second season here, but he's been around a long time. This is his 31st season as a head coach, 7 different schools, 252 career wins, and 8 region championships. The one thing he does not have on his resume is a state championship, and he's got a decent shot with this Tigers team. And here's Cobb showing how dangerous he is.
Well, he is just different. Some guys, John, I say this all the time, they just look different. You know, and when you come out here and you watch them even just warm up, when you watch Cobb, some guys just look the part, and he stands out.
That one does appear it's going to come back. There's a flag in.
And you mentioned Fritz and all the different places he's been. He came close to some state titles in his time in Vidalia. But, you know, everywhere he's gone, he's won.
Offense.
You know, most coaches that have had 3,
down.
4, 5 jobs, they've had 1 or 2 stretches maybe where they had losing seasons. Even the great Eric Parker struggled early on at Laney. But Fritz, everywhere he's been, he has won.
Funny you mentioned his time in Vidalia, AB. That is a harbinger for the Stump AB trivia question later in the game.
God. Uh-oh.
Just the Vidalia.
Not feeling good about that.
So that'll back him all the way up to the 34-yard line and wipes out a huge gain by Cobb. And Coach Fritz, during our visit this week, said one of the things he enjoys about Cobb as Tyson is knocked down quickly by C.J. Zellers. But he said Cobb, especially this year, has been able to go through his progressions, find the open man, be patient in the pocket, buy time if he needs to. And then, of course, if he can't find the open man, he can use his legs like he did in the previous play, although that was brought back by the penalty.
Yeah, and he's also a state championship caliber sprinter. as well. So he's got the speed. He's got a little bit of everything. That's why a lot of the colleges are taking a serious look at him for sure.
Yeah, Mercer, Georgia State, Tulane, among others.
You mentioned
offers on the table.
Zeller's had that tackle, and he is second on the team in tackles for Lincoln County. He's got 64, averaging about 9 a ball game.
So let's see what Cobb has in store on 3rd and 12. Need to get to the 47-yard line. They're going to get it, and then some. A fairway forward first down into Red Devil territory. That is Desmond Kofer.
I love the play call. You know, you get everybody going right, and you throw it back left, and you allow your guy, you get him in space. We talked about that in the pregame, and let him make a move, and Kofer able to pick up the yardage with yards after the catch.
Into Red Devil territory at the 49-yard line. Again to the air. It's Jackson. Needs a block. Didn't ball out.
Well,
I think they're going to say it was out of bounds.
Well, they dodged a bullet that the Lincoln County player.
Samaj Jenkins
It
on
was
the
Jenkins,
spot.
yeah, that either couldn't hold on or was out of bounds. But, boy, that was a big, it would have been a big play for Lincoln County.
Should mention that Washington-Wilkes without one of its offensive weapons tonight, Zacchaeus Jackson, who is out with a torn meniscus. They hope to have him back in time for the playoffs.
Well,
he has 3 rushing TDs already this year.
You add him, and keep in mind, one of their best players, their best defensive player, transferred to Thompson in the offseason.
Quinshawn Hurst.
It's scary. And, you know, Hurst had 13 tackles last week on Game Night Live.
He was our McDonald's defensive player of the game. And to that point, Coach Fritz yesterday during our visit was very happy for Hurst. It was nice to know that he watched the game as Tyson barrels ahead and out of bounds. But he was very happy for Quinshawn Hurst to have such a big game last night in such a big game in that Thompson-Burke County showdown.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, sometimes we see it more and more now. More kids are transferring, and sometimes, hey, when you lose a player, some coaches can be a little, you know, not want to handle that well. But good to see him happy for Hurst, who did play outstanding last week. We saw him last year in this matchup as a sophomore, and he was just so good. Good look at Cobb there.
And another fairway forward first down from the 38-yard line now. Cobb, another receiver, Diamante Grant, and Grant with running room down to the 20.
Running right towards us. You know, one thing I'll say, this is single A football, you know, but when you watch the kid, we've been to a lot of games this year. I don't know that I've been impressed with the group of captains Washington-Wilkes rolled out there. I don't know if Sid Fritz said we're just going to intimidate and put our biggest guys, but doesn't look like single A football. I mean, look at number 11 just caught that pass. That does not look like single A football, Deontay Grant.
A number of targets for Cobb, and this is where it gets fun for you and me, AB. They're playing right in front of us now. And a nice defensive play made by Braylon Stevens.
Yeah, you can hear the crunch on that hit as we are so close to the action now. An interesting thing about the Lincoln County defense, and I don't know that we'll see this in any game this year, or maybe ever, the leading tackler is their quarterback. 78 tackles this year for Trey Huff. You just don't see that very often.
We'll see him under center when Lincoln County gets the ball first. It's 2nd and 6. Cobb. Oh, early nominee for the East Central Health District hit of the game. And that was big Donald Owens.
Yeah, we talked about him a lot in the game against Harlem earlier this year as Cobb throws another one right on the money. And, boy, Owens with a big hit.
He has 32 tackles on the year himself.
Yeah, Cobb has been really accurate so far tonight. Coming into the game, 53 of 87 throwing the football.
800 yards and 9 touchdown passes, but facing 3rd and 6 from the 16. Whistle blows, flag down.
Yeah, these are just two good
against
football
the
programs
offense,
that have been good for a
repeat
long
3rd
time.
down, 5 yards
Well,
from
this
the
feels
previous
like
spot.
late October, early November football, doesn't it?
Well, like you said, a region championship possibly on the line. You know, they're both fighting for, you know, home playoff spots. I mean, there's a lot going on in this game. And, of course, throw all that aside, it's a monstrous rivalry game.
As we mentioned at the outset, the winner of this game will control its own destiny in the region. Both teams still have to face Commerce. In fact, Washington-Wilkes goes to Commerce next week. The Tigers of Commerce also 2-0 in the region entering tonight's play. And actually, Commerce, I think, is on a bye tonight, so they'll be 2-0. 3rd and 11 from the 16. Cobb. It is complete. 7-on-7. Quinzavian Jackson dragged up by Judson Beggs.
I like how you did that. 7-on-7, Jackson with the catch, and again, Cobb on the money.
Well, this is a Washington-Wilkes team that does not kick the ball a lot. And I mean, they don't kick a lot of field goals. They don't kick a lot of extra points.
And they don't punt either.
They don't punt either. So here we go, 4th and 7 from the 16.
Yeah, from this spot on the field, why not? Let's see what Cobb can generate here.
He will throw, and it is incomplete. And a big early game stand by this Red Devil defense. Bent, but not broken.
Well, he was hurried that time by Cam Winfrey. That forced Cobb to get rid of it faster than he wanted to, and because of that, he threw it low. And Lincoln County bent, but they did not break. They'll get the football.
So here come the Red Devils, starting from their own 18-yard line. And as you mentioned, AB, first a flag comes in. Trey Huff, the quarterback. False start, boy, that'll drive Lee Homsky.
Snap infraction on
First
the
play from
offense.
scrimmage and you get a false start.
That's going to
coming
be
off a great
repeat
defensive
of
stand
first
there at
down,
the end
5
of that
yards
drive.
from the previous
Huff
spot.
coming into tonight. They don't throw it often. They've only attempted 49 passes in their 7 games, so only 7 passes a game on average. But when he does throw it, pretty good. 27 of 49, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns. And the key thing is he hasn't thrown an interception all season long.
But moving backwards here, 1st and 15 from the 13 now. And keep your eye on number 5. And he gets the call on 1st down. It's Gartrell.
There he
Keeps
goes.
his feet. And it's a foot race. And a touchdown-saving tackle made. We'll have to see who made it, but Tevin Gartrell with a pickup of 60-plus.
I think it was Javaris Harden, number 8, who came from behind to get him. And if he did, what a job, because it might not have been 8 because he was way back at the line. Let's see who got him. Somebody came from behind. It was number 8, I believe. It was either 6 or 8.
And that would be Kylie Kofer or Javaris Harden.
One of the two. Wow, what a start by Lincoln County after that penalty.
It was closer to a 46-yard gain, but either way, 1st and 10 from the 33.
And that's
And
Zeller.
fairway forward 1st down.
Zeller's on that carry. Wow, what a start for the Red Devils. It looked like Washington-Wilkes was going to go straight down and score on them. They get the stand, and then, of course, the penalty. But right after that, as John, right on cue, mentions, here comes Gartrell. They hand it to him, and he busts a big one.
Huff on the keeper.
Huff lowered his head there.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Lincoln County, coached by Lee Homskus, 12-7 in his 2nd season in Lincolnton, but he's been around a while as well. 116 career wins in 17 seasons. The 2nd winningest coach in the history of Vidalia High School football, 101 wins there before coming back home to Lincoln. And you want to talk about somebody who Lincoln County runs through his blood. He was a Lincolnton native. His mom was a homecoming queen. He's the nephew of Dan Pitts, Lincoln County legend, who went on to become the winningest head coach in Georgia high school history before a guy by the name of Larry Campbell came along. Larry Campbell was Lee Homskus' Little League coach.
Yeah.
A 5-yard
Hopkins has got
penalty.
close
at
ties
the previous
to a lot of
spot. We'll
the
repeat third
entire
down.
area. West Side, Evans, Lincoln County.
Another penalty against the Red Devils. That won't make him happy.
Well, if you're one thing I've always said about Washington-Wilkes teams, even before Sid Fritz, Washington-Wilkes teams, especially when we get to see those kids in the border bowl, one thing they do great is they are sure tacklers. It seems like every single year they've got guys who hit that are properly trained, and let's see, because they need some defensive plays right here to stop Lincoln County.
I'm going to guess this is 2-down territory for the Red Devils as well. Huff, inside handoff. And it is the aforementioned Tevin Gartrell, this time nothing doing.
Yeah, that was Javaris Harden. He is one of the top defensive players on the team, 65 tackles, 4 for loss. He's forced a couple of fumbles, and there he got in the backfield, made a play.
Gartrell averaging 9.5 yards a carry this year. That's going to go up a little bit with that 50-yard run on the first play from scrimmage, but facing 4th and 10 here. Huff out of the shotgun, and another whistle. And another false start.
False start. Offense. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Down.
So not the crispest first drive for the Red Devils, but they're still facing 4th and 15 and still in Washington-Wilkes territory at the 37-yard line.
One thing that is crisp, the air. We
feels
finally got
great.
football weather, do we not?
Yes, we do.
I always say it's not really football weather until I need hot chocolate.
The line to make is the 22-yard line. They're looking up. Quinzamian Jackson back there.
Yeah, nice job. At first, I didn't think he was going to turn around, and it looked like the receiver was going to make a great play on the ball. You'll see on the replay, but Jackson able to get a hand in there. Huff throwing it up, letting his guy make a play on the run, and watch the receiver.
So with 3:54 left to play, still scoreless in this game. It is 1st and 10, 37 from the 37. And here come the Tigers again. It's Cobb. Using his feet up to the 40-yard line and a fairway forward first down.
Yeah, both teams moved the football, but the defenses stood. Now Washington-Wilkes back on the move.
Yeah, into Lincoln County territory for the second time. 23-yard pickup for Cobb.
There he goes again.
And this time dragged down by Braylon Stevens.
Last year when we were excited to see Cobb play. We had heard a lot about him. Colleges were looking at him. But to me, he was overshadowed by 2 defensive players, Quinshon Hurst, who transferred to Thompson. The other one, I was impressed more maybe with Hurst more than anybody had seen that year. But Matt Lane in particular really loved their safety, Justin Myers, who, by the way, is a freshman at Georgia Southern. Those 2 guys kind of stole the show. This is a night and a time for Cobb to shine. He is so far. Let's see if he can continue.
Firing this time, completing. And another first down. Jackson on the receiving end. Up to the 25-yard line, pickup of 13.
And by the way, I mentioned Justin Myers at Georgia Southern. When Washington-Wilkes is on defense, one of their top players is his little brother, who's just a sophomore, Joseph Myers. And he looks like a stud as well. He's got 50 tackles this year.
You'd have to say so far this first quarter has been a moral victory for Lincoln County. This Washington-Wilkes team averaging 38 points a game, 267 rushing a game, 117 passing, but here come the Tigers down to the 15.
Yeah, they're in the top 5 in the state in their classification in scoring, as you mentioned, with over 38 a game, and their defense is in the top 10 in scoring, averaging just giving up about 13 a game. But Lincoln County, they were able to slow their drive down and stop them last time, and of course now they're hoping they can do that again. But
just shy of the first down. And it's Tyson. Tyson! Tiptoeing! Just shy. First and goal, Tigers.
what a great run. And, man, how cool is this, guys? We are about 20 feet from where that just happened.
He landed at our feet.
That is so great.
A 15-yard run for Tyson and a fairway forward. First and goal for Washington-Wilkes.
There is nothing like it Friday nights, and we are close to the action here.
First and goal from the 2. High snap. And his feet came out from under him. It's a little wet out there, the turf is. And a flag down.
And it looked like he slipped as he tried to make that cut. And then a defender from Lincoln County was coming in right there as well.
Got holding against the offense. Repeat first down.
And a hold on the Tigers.
Well, that is sort of what the doctor ordered for Lincoln County, because they were on their heels, reeling on a little bit on this one.
They'll back him up to the 13-yard line.
I just got a message from a parent. I won't say who. They're at another game. He just messaged me. I wish I was at y'all's game.
Come on down. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Or join us at WJBF.com. Cobb, misdirection, end zone, touchdown.
Oh, nice throw. John.
Devontae Jones with his second touchdown catch of the year.
Rolling to his left. He just made a perfect pass. That is a big-time play. Big-time throw by Cobb.
Now, we mentioned Washington-Wilkes is not in the habit of kicking PATs.
Yeah, they'll go for 2.
Another great look at that catch by Devontae Jones. So the Tigers will line up and go for 2. Cobb will trick him himself. And it's good. Washington-Wilkes, 8-0, 1:12 left to play in the first. Heck of a start to this one. Only 8 points on the board, but it has been back and forth for the first 10 minutes and 48 seconds of this ball game.
Also, don't forget you can snag you some free fries and also add up all sorts of reward points with the new My McDonald's app. And, of course, it's only from McDonald's. I'm loving it. And the Bear Claws are good, according to Nathan.
Well, we're loving the start of this football game.
Oh, man. What a big-time throw on that touchdown. It's so tough to roll to your left and throw back to your right, as Cobb did there, and he did it with pinpoint accuracy.
Tigers marched 62 yards. Took them 6 plays and took 2 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock. And now it's Gartrell on the return.
There he goes.
Look at the speed.
There he goes.
Across midfield. And great field position for the Red Devils.
And what I love, we mentioned Gartrell, first play of the game on the kickoff, making the tackle on special teams. Well, look who made the tackle on special teams for Washington-Wilkes, Tyson, their star running back. You think this ain't a big game?
30 yards on the return for Gartrell. Well, one of the things Lee Hopskis told me during our visit this week, on offense, the key, they have got to run the ball, control the clock, and most importantly, AB, finish drives. On their first drive, they made it to the Washington-Wilkes 37-yard line, could not convert on 4th down. Now they have it on their own 49.
37 yards on that return, by the way, by Gartrell.
And 5 yards on first down.
Well, these two teams have had some good running backs over the years, to say the least.
You can say that.
Yeah, obviously Garrison Hurst at Lincoln County, and let's not forget Dacus Turman from Washington-Wilkes.
Still the single season
All-time rushing leader, yeah.
rushing leader.
Yep.
Went on to the University of South Carolina.
I'm not sure, where did Garrison Hurst, did he go to a D1 school?
I can't recall. Can't recall. The former
man.
University of Georgia great.
Should have been the 1992 Heisman Trophy winner.
Absolutely.
I still say it, but Gino Torretta got it.
And short gain on second down, going to bring up third and about 5.
The next time those two bumped into one another, Hurst was probably buying groceries, and Gino Torretta might have been bagging them for him.
Hey, it's not the Stump AB trivia question. Well, we'll get it to after the break. I think that might be the last snap of this first quarter.
That's it.
Yeah, they're going to let it go. What a first quarter it was. We are through 12. Washington-Wilkes, 8. Lincoln County, nothing.
I blanked out on the 2-point conversion. How did they get that?
It was Cobb, just ran for it.
Okay. Okay.
The running back, it looked like a snap the running back and you get it off the
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, sir. Awesome. Appreciate that.
Good job, Kyle. Hey, Luddy's with us. Heard he wasn't feeling well earlier. Good. All right. Just whenever you have them. The only thing about not having that camera on us is I can't visually communicate with Kyle.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
The T-Mobile student section rocking the pink on a pink out here at Charlie Davidson Field, Tiger Stadium. Beginning of quarter number 2, and they have a lot to be happy about right now. They're Tigers leading 8-0.
Yeah, very impressive drive by Washington-Wilkes, and finished off Dalen Cobb with the touchdown pass, runs in the 2-point conversion, and like you said, Lincoln County got a nice return from Gartrell, but they got a big play here.
But facing 3rd and 4, like you said, AB. Huff will throw, will complete. He'll have the first down inside the 40, and then a host of blue shirts knock him back.
Yeah, you almost couldn't see the receiver anymore, all the blue jerseys around him, but not before. Huff and company picked up a big first down. Not sure why they played back so far on the receivers there on that 3rd and 4 play. The receiver basically ran to the chains and turned around. Ran to
Sorry, AB.
the marker, yeah, and not sure why they were backed up so much, the defensive backs, John.
C.J. Zellers on the reception. And a fairway forward first down to the 38-yard line. Gartrell. And nothing this time.
Pick up a maybe 1 on the carry for the Red Devils.
Trace Callaway on the tackle. 53rd tackle of the year for Trace. Callaway, by the way, a great name to have here in Washington. We're not too far from the Callaway Plantation. An open-air museum, Civil War era museum. And that name Callaway, the folks who lived on that plot of land back in the day, the ancestors of Eli Callaway of golf club manufacturing fame. Gartrell, I believe, up to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, we're seeing some good football being played. Gartrell with a good hard run there.
And that gets us to our QBs by the quarter for quarter number 1, brought to you as always by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Yeah, Trey Huff, not a whole lot, 0 for 1 in the first quarter, did complete that pass a moment ago. He ran it one time, 5 yards in that quarter. And for Dalen Cobb, what a start. 8 of 9 passing for 78 yards and a touchdown. He's got 4 carries for 42 yards. He is on a pace for a big, big night.
As advertised.
No doubt.
3rd and 5. And Lincoln County wants to talk about it. Well, you can't talk about the history of this game, AB, without talking about the biggest game in the history of this rivalry. Around here, they simply call it the game. The 2005 state championship game took place in Lincolnton between these two teams. You just imagine Georgia versus Florida for the national championship, or Yankees, Red Sox in the World Series, something like that. That's what you had back in 2005. The game, 7,000 people showed up in Lincolnton. Washington-Wilkes held to just 6 yards rushing in the second half. Brandon Barden, 3 touchdowns for Lincoln County. Ronte Norman added another one, and Lincoln County was able to win this 2005 state title over their arch rival 25-0. What a memorable night that was in Lincolnton.
Yeah, Barden actually became a tight end. He went to Vanderbilt and then played in the NFL briefly. And that Barden name, very popular here in Lincoln County.
By the way, if you are curious about the history of this Lincoln County team, I want to guide you to LincolnCountyRedDevils.com. Our good friend Johnny Walton has run that website and run it very well for years. Anything and everything you want to know about Lincoln County football, it's there.
No doubt. We're getting a bunch of scores coming in from Nathan Evans on top of Heritage out of Conyers, 14-6. And a huge matchup between Putnam County and Jefferson County, locked at 14 right now. We'll get some more for you in just a moment.
And we'll see the Warriors next week on Game Night Live. But first, 3rd and 5 from the 33, and going to be close. Huff on the keeper.
Also, John, big game. Burke County trying to bounce back from their loss to Thompson, taking on Hepzibah. They're not too happy about that loss. They're up on Hepzibah now, 20-0 early in that one.
Huff can run the ball, 320 on the ground so far, 6 scores this year, and
he's obviously not afraid to stick his nose in there. I mean, he leads the team in tackles.
And they are going to give him the first down, 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, we saw him on the first run he had. He
or
just
27, I should say.
Yeah, he just lowered his shoulder and tried to run over the defender. Strong customer.
This is Zellers.
Woo. There's some hitting going on out there.
Man, I love it when they get to this end of the field.
It is great. You can hear the crunch. You can hear all the action. Great vantage point. And I know, obviously, the press box and all that stuff is usually good. And I don't know that we necessarily be down here every game, but, man, it's such a great vantage point.
It's a nice change of pace. It reminds me of when the Braves announcers call the game from the Chop House.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. we have water. 2nd and 7. Misdirection. And this is Samaj Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins, a talented young sophomore who has put up some nice numbers in the early going this year.
Yeah, he averages 9.5 a carry.
Yeah, Samaj on the season, 41 carries, 389 yards, and 5 scores.
Another big 3rd down for the Red Devils at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, it's obviously where you're at in the field may be 4-down territory, but big play here.
9th play of this drive. And it's Josiah Jones inside the 14, and then inside the 15.
Good hard run there.
It's going to be close, and they're going to go ahead and give it to him. That's the one thing we can't see very well from this vantage point is the spot.
Yeah, Josiah Jones with a nice run. Watch this. Makes the first guy miss, pushes his way through, makes oh man, made two others miss, and gets the first down. That's a nice run.
Fairway forward, first down to the 14.
That's the difference in high school football now to high school football 30 years ago. I think the starting players are similar, but you didn't have the third running back or fourth running back on a team run like that back then. Now you do.
Oh, Gartrell thrown down. And look at the size on big number 53. That is Curtis Milton.
Like I said, they had some big kids come out there for the coin toss. I was like, whoa.
Gain of 1, maybe.
There's Tevin Gartrell, the outstanding running back. You've already seen 2 big plays from him tonight.
And he'll get it again. Actually, that was Samaj Jenkins again. A good, powerful run inside the 10.
Now, credit to Jenkins. He stayed on his feet the whole way through there as he was shoved out of bounds. Jackson in on that tackle, number 7.
So it's going to be 3rd and 6 from just inside the 10-yard line. Jones is the running back with Huff. And I believe they drew him off.
It's going to be close to it. Yeah, Nathan's saying, you think it's first down? Yeah, it's going to be close for sure. They should have it just inside the 5.
And I'm standing on the 5, and it should be, yeah, by a length of half the length of a football. Well, now they're going to set it on the other side of the 5, which means it'll be about a foot short.
Yeah, they only gave him 4 yards. It should be 1 more yard. It was inside the 10. Wow. If they don't get it here, that is huge.
3rd and 1. Should have been a first down.
Well, they
not
get it
going to
anyway.
matter. Huff gets everybody off the hook.
Yeah, they get it anyway.
The official was standing right in front of us. We tried to say you only gave him 4 yards, but it doesn't matter.
Luckily for Lincoln County, and I'm not cheering for them, but just the right call happened. Huff able to get it anyway. You'd hate to see him.
And more importantly, 1st and goal at the 2.
Yeah, what an answer for the Red Devils on this drive if they're able to punch it in. And they've got the big, strong quarterback under center who just, powed his way through, through the line. Let's see if they do that again or give it to a back. Oh, somebody moved.
Boy, that's why coaches
False
have great
start
ears.
against the offense.
That is
The
something
5-yard
teams
penalty
do. Washington-Wilkes, I
from
don't
the
know if you
previous
saw
spot
that
will
on the
repeat
screen, but
first down.
Washington-Wilkes, 2 or 3 of their defensive linemen shifted all around, and it made one of the offensive linemen for Lincoln County, jump. He flinched, and the referee, the officiating crew caught it. I think Justin Zellers is the culprit that jumped for Lincoln County. But
well, one of the things that Sid Fritz was worried about is the youth on his defense. The offense is clicking on all cylinders, and you've seen that here tonight. They're starting 4 sophomores on defense, and he was very curious as to how they will react in this atmosphere tonight. 1st and goal. It's Huff. It's a touchdown.
yeah, nice play there. Huff fakes it and ran on that left side of the line. And that one of the lead guys over there is Donald Owens. You see here on this replay, Owens did they did a great job just blowing the nose guard out of there. Good job up front by Lincoln County. So they're going to go for 2 to try and match the Tigers.
Huff to throw. Looking, now he will run. They say it's good. The nose of the football at the goal line.
Matt, our sideline reporter, even kind of looked over here and mouthed, barely. He barely got in.
That will be an interesting replay. So, 8-8, 5:30 to play in quarter number 2. Lincoln County Red Devils marched 51 yards and 13 plays, took 7:42 off the clock, and then this 2-point conversion, AB.
Yeah, this tied it. Watching the big, strong QB lowered his shoulder and got in there by the nose of the football. So Lincoln County, that's a great drive by the Red Devils, and I know Coach Chomsky has to be thrilled that they were able to put that together.
Squib kick. And one of the up men, we'll see if we can get his name on television. That was Oakley Seffert, who also has an interception to his credit this year.
He's one of those sophomores on this young squad. They've got leaders who are seniors, but they've got a bunch of young people that play as well.
So we are tied at 8. And AB, are you ready for the stat of the night?
I am ready.
All time, this is the 85th meeting between these two teams. In the previous 84 meetings, Washington-Wilkes has scored 1,183 points. Lincoln County, 1,165, for a difference of 18 points in 84 years.
That is unbelievable. And here's Cobb.
Speaking of unbelievable.
Look at that.
Wow.
What a run. What a run.
Cross midfield, pick up a 14.
There's a flag down, according to Matt Lane. But that is astounding. 85 matchups. The fact that it's 40, 38, and 6 is pretty crazy. But then you throw in the points
from
score. That
come
is
back.
remarkable.
First down.
Well, you mentioned Duke, North Carolina in basketball,
Kinda similar,
Georgia,
yeah.
Auburn in football, very similar point differentials.
So they're going to bring back that. That's Cobb now has had 2 big runs brought back by penalty. One on that opening drive, and now this one. There's Dalen Cobb. You mentioned Tulane and Georgia State and Mercer and some of the schools who are showing heavy interest in that young man.
Well, while we have a moment, let's check in for our first time with Matt Lane. We usually say let's go down to the field with Matt Lane. Let's go 5 feet to our left to Matt Lane for an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report.
Thank you, John. No, as you can see here for Washington-Wilkes, with their speed going against Lincoln County, who has a size advantage on offense and defense, just in terms of offensive and defensive linemen mainly, you're kind of seeing that quick hit offense backfire a little bit with the penalties, but we'll see if Dalen Cobb can get it in the end zone, as Lincoln County did a great job of taking a lot of time off the clock here in this second quarter on that last drive.
And to your point, Matt, while you were speaking, another false start against the Tigers. So it's going to be 1st and 20. Ball all the way back at the 25-yard line.
Samaj Wheeler giving up, looks like about a foot to the receiver he's covering. I said Samaj Wheeler. Samaj, here's a Jenkins. Get the play in here.
Cobb, and that time stood up. Nice play by Trey Huff. And you mentioned Huff, the quarterback. How it's rare that your quarterback is your leading tackler, but Huff with 78 tackles on the year. I had to look at that twice. That's a lot.
Yeah, yep, 78 tackles coming into tonight. And, you know, when I was doing my stat sheet, I actually had to kind of fit it in because I forgot how good he was on defense. I'd put all the offensive players and kind of had to shift that in there. But 11.1 tackles per game.
Pickup of 8 for Cobb on first down. This is DeMonte Grant. Grant with the sideline and shoved out of bounds at the 30.
Yeah, and that was Jenkins, Samaj Jenkins, who got him. But see, and that's another thing about this. We're talking single A. Look at Grant. And he is not their focal point on offense. He's one of the extra guys. But here, that's his second big play tonight. One he made on a catch, and they are just a great, great run. And maybe another flag now.
Oh, boy.
And boy, Sid Fritz cannot be pleased. And I know the Washington-Wilkes crowd is not pleased.
Can't see Sid from where I am, but that might be a good thing. Yep, going to wipe out a...
Well, 6 penalties already in the first half on Washington-Wilkes.
Wipe out what was a 35-yard run. And instead, going to go back to 2nd and 20. Don't forget, coming up at the half, the Eichels Law Firm halftime show. Matt Lane, we'll hear from the Lincoln County Marching Band, the Washington-Wilkes Marching Band.
Well,
special guests from McDonald's.
If Washington-Wilkes is not able to get points on this drive, they've obviously done it to themselves with all these penalties. And, you know, they've had big plays, but you got to play clean football also. Here comes Cobb.
Yep, on the keeper, dancing his way. Now he's got room. Oh, what a play made by C.J. Crite, who had a big game on defense when we saw Lincoln County against Harlem earlier this year on Game Night Live.
Yeah, there he made a great play because I got Cobb, the move he made, a couple of moves, but you know, he got by Huff and then cut to the outside, and boy, nice play by Crite to stop what could have been an even bigger play. It was about an 11-yard pickup, as it were.
Still picked up 11, so 3rd and 9.
Well, 3rd and 9 is he put himself in a position. And here comes another flag down.
Boy, oh boy.
Boy, 2 big plays, and then you go from
False
2nd
start
and 21
on the
to
offense.
3rd or 2nd and 20.
It's a 5-yard penalty from
and 9.
the previous spot.
And then you get yourself another
Repeat
penalty.
3rd down.
You backed it back, 3rd and long again. And you're on the part of the field where it's not 4-down territory for you. So they have put themselves in a bad spot. 7 penalties now on the Tigers, 50 yards in penalties.
That might come up at halftime in the Washington-Wilkes locker room.
There's something about this series, this rivalry, because, again, last year and this year, if you look at like opponents that they played, aside from one, Laney, which they both lost to, Washington-Wilkes has kind of dominated some of the teams Lincoln County has struggled with. And tonight, we've got a dogfight on our hands.
And timeout on the field, 3:24 left to play in the first half. Well, we talked about the history of this rivalry, and one of the things that Lee Homska said during our conversation yesterday is you have couples, married couples. One is from Lincolnton, one is from Washington, and you have houses divided. Well, how about Tom Nash? If you've never heard that name, you should have. He was born in Lincoln County, but grew up here in Washington. There's a good look at Tom. He lived in Lincolnton until he was 9, and then he moved to Washington. He went on to play at Washington High School, then became an All-American at the University of Georgia in 1927. Won 3 world championships, what they now call the Super Bowl, with the Green Bay Packers, and then elected to the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame in 1972. Came back to Washington, had a car dealership, was a principal and coach, led these Tigers. I think they might have been still with the Bearcats at that point, but to a 9-1 record back in 1942.
I know one other thing he did.
What's that?
He also played pro baseball.
Yes,
in addition
absolutely.
to all that other stuff. And when you hear that, you're like, man, I've done nothing with my life.
His son, Little Tom, was also SEC, all SEC at the University of Georgia. So just another one of the connections between these two communities.
Yeah, it is. There's something special about this rivalry, especially when other people, like, sometimes when you're in the Augusta area, like Columbia County, Richmond County, you don't notice the outlying schools, especially the smaller schools, as much. But, when the talk on Facebook is best rivalry, and this one comes up from everybody, it's amazing. People realize this is a big one.
3rd and 15, Cobb. Gonna heave it. Oh! In and out of the outstretched arms of Quinzabian Jackson, and what a throw by Cobb.
Wow, what a throw on the run with knowing he's probably about to get hit from behind. What a throw by Cobb, and you got to hold on to that one. That was money right on the fingertips of Jackson. Watch this. He pump faked it there, then he steps up, and man, he heaved it. And this one's just, you got to catch that football there.
You know what else Dalen Cobb does well?
What's that?
He's the punter.
Well, here he goes.
He is the Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punter of the game. And it is rare that we see the Tigers punt. But here we go.
He might decide to run. You never know. Doubt it.
It's nice to have that option, isn't it?
Doubt it from this spot on the field.
Good kick. And a Tiger bounce to the 38-yard line, and the Red Devils will take over there.
Well, that drive, you know, Washington-Wilkes has no one to blame but themselves with the penalties. And yeah, the penalties, the drop pass, and again, I was mentioning the fact that, you know, the longer they let Lincoln County, not that Lincoln County's any slouch. We know they're not. They were ranked.
Good look at Sid Fritz right there.
Yeah, there you go. But the longer you kind of let them hang around, you're on your home turf. You've been just crushing teams, and now all of a sudden you're in a fight. Let's see how they handle that.
Both coaches told me they expected an old-fashioned slugfest, and that is exactly what we have with 3:04 to play still in the first half.
And Lincoln County's got a chance to put points on the board and take a lead into halftime if they can get a good drive going, and here's Gartrell.
Kind of trying to pick and weave his way through and picks up a couple.
Yeah, good way. They strung that out pretty well there. Not bad by the Washington-Wilkes defense. Host of players in on it. Number 22, Trace Calloway, and number 8, Javaris Harden. We've mentioned them. And number 9 also in on that play, and that's Joseph Myers. He is the sophomore that so highly regarded, brother freshman at Georgia Southern.
Huff. A throw a little wide.
Well,
Jones, the intended receiver.
Sometimes you have to throw on the run, but you've got to square your body up a little bit better there. And, you know, that time, because throwing on the run, he let that ball get a little bit wide of his target.
So this is a pretty big third down for Lincoln County. If you don't get it here, you're not in a position to go for it on 4th down, and Washington-Wilkes could get the ball back with a couple of minutes left, and we've already seen how quickly they can strike with Dalen Cobb. So a Ken Nugent one call, that's all moment for Lee Hopkins.
Yeah,
what do you run on 3rd and 8?
I don't know that you can run it on 3rd and 8. You maybe set up a screen for Gartrell, and they've actually got the backup running back, it looks like, in there. One of the backups, number 25, is in the game, Jones.
And you're right, AB, they will throw for it, and they will get it. And it's Samaj Jenkins still on his feet. Hit his own man, and down he goes at the 23-yard line. Big play for the Red Devils.
Yeah, that is a huge play. And here's the thing I was going to say before that play. Lee Hopkins obviously wants points, but even if he doesn't get points, get the first down. Let's don't give Washington-Wilkes the ball back. And they're a great job. That time, you see how he turned his body and got it square with his target. Beautiful throw. 38 yards to Jenkins.
And so now the Red Devils with a fresh set of downs and back in business at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, Lincoln County.
Fairway Ford first down. Gartrell. And a nice defensive play made by Kevonte Jones.
And Washington-Wilkes, you're sitting here going, wait a second. We've been beating people by 25 a night. And now all of a sudden, you got somebody that's showing you they're not going to roll over.
You just had a feeling this one was going to be fun tonight. Swings it out on the near side. Inside the Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone. That is Franklin Brown. That's the first time we've called Franklin Brown's name tonight. He was our defensive player of the game, McDonald's defensive player of the game, when we had the Red Devils on Game Night Live earlier this year against Harlem.
Well, and he's also the leading receiver for for Lincoln County. 17 catches, 243 yards coming into tonight, and a touchdown. And like you said, first time we called it, but he picks up a big play. And now 1st down and goal to go inside the 5. At about the 4-yard line.
And 17-yard pickup for Brown. Look at Jones.
He's in there.
Touchdown.
Oh, no, hold on a second. He faked it to Jones and kept it.
Oh.
That was a great fake.
Is this where we blame the band for walking in front of us?
Well, you know, we got to blame somebody.
So, second and goal from the 3.
And they keep Jones in there. They give it to
Gartrell in the misdirection. Now it's a touchdown.
I like that play call there. You get Gartrell with a head of steam and hand it to him. He's going to be hard to stop, and it's a touchdown. And Lincoln County, all of a sudden, 14 unanswered, and they'll try to add to that here.
Gartrell's 9th touchdown of the season.
And you've also only left 28 seconds on the clock for Washington-Wilkes. Washington-Wilkes does have all 3 timeouts.
And a quarterback who can throw it.
Yeah, that's the thing about Cobb. He's known as an athlete and a runner, but, man, we have seen his arm time and time again tonight.
The Red Devils want to talk about the 2-point conversion. Gives us another chance to remind you about the Eichholz Law Firm halftime show coming up. Matt Lane will have the Lincoln County Marching Band, the Washington-Wilkes Marching Band. We'll have a special guest from the Washington McDonald's, which is a familiar establishment for me because I stop there virtually every Saturday morning in the fall at about 6 a.m. on the way to Athens. Get my 2 sausage McMuffins with egg. So let's go back and take a look at the Busby's Heating and Air replay here. And this is the one that kept it alive.
Yeah, 3rd down, and they come up with a big play there. And it looked like Jenkins might take it to the house. Like you said, though, he ran into one of his own blockers. But I love the 2 other receivers, Franklin Brown, one of them blocking downfield.
So coming out of the timeout, let's see what Lee Hopkins drew up for this 2-point conversion. Red Devils trying to take an 8-point lead. Well, I say into the half. Washington-Wilkes still has 28 seconds left at minimum. Huff through the left side. It's good. 16-8 Lincoln County.
That's big. Those are big. When you don't have a kicking game, those are huge. And that is boy, what a couple of drives for Lincoln County after falling behind 8-0. They have bounced back nicely.
And a good look at this historic field here. Site of many memorable matchups. And Lincoln County trying to make their own memory here tonight. 16-8, 28 seconds left in the half.
Now, there's some surprise folks here tonight. I mean,
they're going to be some surprise folks elsewhere as well.
Yeah. Right now, 16-8.
Lincoln County did spend some time at number 5 in the state earlier this year before losing to, I believe it was the Laney loss that knocked them out.
Yeah. And Washington-Wilkes, a lot of people were talking about them. And I think in the CSRA, if you pick the 2 teams on the Georgia side that had a chance to win it, you'd say Thompson and then Washington-Wilkes. I think on the South Carolina side, you'd look at Silver Bluff as being the best chance, and maybe Bamberg-Ehrhardt if you want to throw them in as well.
And in our area, another good kick and another good job by Saffert.
Yeah.
On the hands team. But in your power poll that you have in the Augusta Press, you have Lincoln County or Washington-Wilkes 3 and Lincoln County 10, I believe.
Yeah, and you know, obviously there's not as much separation. Although a lot of schools are jumbled up. It's so close. Behind Thompson, you've got Washington County, Burke County, Saluda, Silver Bluff. I think Silver Bluff is a team that has been unbelievable. I mean,
they were very impressive when we saw them.
Barnwell's a great team. They outscored them 41-0 in the second half last week.
You texted me that, or Nathan did, I believe. You have to take a second look at that. So
yeah.
We'll see if Sid Fritz here wants to air it out, or are they just going to take it to the locker room, and I think we have our answer here.
Well, when you got a guy like Cobb, why not take a chance?
They are. And it is complete. And is it in?
Wow.
Desmond Kofer.
What a catch.
Touchdown.
I didn't think we could beat the catches made by Grant from Hepzibah, That may do it. Look at this. Cobb slinging at half the football field, and watch his catch. He might be down, but it was a catch for sure.
Officially, it's a 52-yard pass, and Washington-Wilkes is going to take a timeout with 10 seconds left, so I guess it was just shy of the end zone. Again, that is the opposite end of the field from where we are.
Yeah, looks like he was down at the 1.
But what a throw from Dalen Cobb.
Man, Cobb is, like I said, last year when we saw him, I don't know if it was the emotions of the game, trying to do too much. He ran the ball pretty well, but throwing, he was off. And tonight, he's had one throw, and that's because he was rushed hard, that was not just almost picture perfect. He has been outstanding tonight.
So they were 52 yards away from it. A 51-yard completion to Kofer.
Well, Cobb is 9 of 11 for 129 yards and a touch, short of a touchdown there by a yard. And he also, don't forget, had about a 50-yarder called back that should have been a catch and a touchdown as well, or not called back, dropped, that could have been a touchdown also.
Washington-Wilkes with 2 timeouts left, so they can run it if they want to.
And this is, again, like the options were go ahead and just take a knee, go to the locker room, but not when you got Cobb, and he makes that great throw.
Tyson is the running back.
They do have 2 timeouts.
I let Cobb keep it. Yeah, they did. It didn't work.
Second effort.
Second effort.
Yeah, if they didn't blow it dead, he's in.
Touchdown.
Boy, the second effort got it.
Credit the O-line there.
Yeah, the initial push didn't get him in. Yeah, and I know that the Lincoln County sideline, they're screaming, hey, we stopped forward progress. Why wasn't the play blown dead? But he gets in there. Yeah, and he did have a little help from some linemen and his running back.
Everybody.
That was an impressive answer from Washington-Wilkes. The long strike and then the quarterback sneak.
Washington-Wilkes has a player shaken up. As you take another look at the touchdown.
And now they will go for 2 with just 2 seconds left in the half.
They had 23 seconds on the clock.
He must have been one of the linemen that got pushed into the end zone.
That's
he looks like he's okay.
Kanijah Williams.
They were pushing him in the back, trying to get him in the end zone. He was holding his back, but he does look okay, and that's good to see. All right, let's see here what they draw up because, again, Lincoln County stuffed that play initially. Let's see what they draw up to try and tie this thing to go into the locker room.
You know what I would do based on everything I've seen tonight?
What's that, John?
Keeper with Cobb.
Dude, let Cobb do something?
Just get out of his way.
I would just do this. I would just point my, shoot, get away from here. Just go do something. Yeah. So
Tyson's back there with him again.
They got him in a shotgun here. He always could run up and get under center, but I don't think he's going to.
Cobb, 2.
The clock went off, but it shouldn't have run. There's 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the officials will get that straight. Although, folks, the police officers are coming on the field, they don't realize there should be 2 seconds left. So Washington-Wilkes should have to kick it off.
Either way, it is 16 all. And they do put the 2 seconds back on the clock. So the Tigers will have to kick it away.
What an incredible answer.
23 seconds.
That is, I mean, seriously, you just didn't think that was going to happen. And you just thought it was going to be 16-8 at halftime, and Cobb said, well, hold on a second. Not so fast.
Well, and after the kickoff, I turned to you and said, are they just going to take it to the locker room, or will they I won't ask that question again.
Well, you know, I know last year you talked to Sid Fritz before the game, and he talked about all the years he's coached all these great players, and he said Cobb was as good as any of them.
He clarified that just a little bit yesterday because you and I had talked about that.
He probably heard us say, wait, you had Miko Hardiman.
He said Miko's still the best player he's ever coached. Dalen Cobb is the best quarterback he has ever coached. And I don't see anything to disprove that here tonight.
Well, again, we're seeing the arm tonight, and I sent you guys, Nathan and you, a highlight video of his, and I said, find me one that's more impressive, you know. And he, on that video, I saw the throws, and now we're getting to see him firsthand. And yeah, he's special. I don't know what he's going to play at the next level. He could be a defensive back. He could be a slot receiver. He could be a running back. But he certainly can be a quarterback with that arm.
A good friend of mine is a Georgia State grad and a diehard Panthers fan. Might have to send him some of these some of these clips.
Oh, did they get it?
Wilkes tries to onside kick. They do. It is recovered by Cavante Jones. And how about that? No time ran off the clock. That's interesting.
So they run it all. No time ran off there, though. There's got to be at least 1 second off, right?
The officials are talking about it.
They're just now they're just going
to wind it down to nothing.
And the Washington-Wilkes coaches aren't happy.
No, because they were about to have it at the 50-yard line with another chance to heave one.
Cobb was ready to loosen up that arm to throw another one. But Lincoln County is, they're running off the field, and the officials are as well. And I guess the officials are a group of people that matter.
But you know what? This is a first half that I think both teams will feel good about, because Lincoln County looks up and you're 16-all with your arch rival and the number 9 team in the state. And you've got Washington-Wilkes, 23 seconds, the strike at the end of the half to tie it up, to take it into the locker room 16-all. So, after 24 minutes, 16-all, Lincoln County, Washington-Wilkes in the 378 war. The Eichholz Law Firm halftime show is next on Game Night Live. Well, if the second half is anything like the first half here tonight, you might want to call your friends and tell them to turn it over to MeTV or pull up the WJBF mobile app, because it's been entertaining, AB.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Lincoln County, give them credit. They fell behind early. Washington-Wilkes moving the ball all over them, but the Red Devils scored those 2 unanswered touchdowns, and then it was answered by a big play from Dalen Cobb, and that is where we stand, 16-16 as we start.
Red Devils will get the kickoff to start the second half, and you and I were talking during the halftime show, AB, that the stat that really stands out to you in that first half, Lincoln County had the ball nearly twice as much as Washington-Wilkes as the ball is loose.
Well,
no signal yet.
Cardinal sin there. Well, it looks like the Red Devils might have got it back.
Red Devils got back on it. Wow.
They better be glad, because 2 Red Devils at least were going to hear it from Lee Homskis as they, instead of falling on the ball, they tried to pick it up and run with it. And Washington-Wilkes almost came away with that football. But you're right. Lincoln County had it 15-29 in the first half. Washington-Wilkes only had it 8-31. But in those 8 minutes and 31 seconds, they had 232 yards of offense, averaging 8.9 yards of play.
Unreal. So the Red Devils will start from their own 28-yard line, all tied 16 apiece in the 85th play of the 378 war.
We'll get some stats in with our QB by the quarter here in just a moment.
And speaking of QBs, Huff to Gartrell to start the second half, 5 yards.
Almost started the way he started the first with the long run, but he was looking like he had one man to beat, and that man made the play. That was number 22, Trace Calloway.
And we will squeeze in our QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Yeah, Trey Huff, 3 of 5 passing for 62 yards for Lincoln County. He ran it 5 times for 24 yards and a touchdown. Dalen Cobb has been outstanding, 9 of 11 passing, 129 through the air and a TD, and he's run it 7 times for 61 yards and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And that's considering he had a touchdown pass that should have been caught for a big gainer that was dropped by the receiver.
On 2nd and 5. Gartrell picks up the first down. Gartrell with a solid first half, 67 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
and that was Jones, I believe.
Yeah, we got 3 guys coming into this game that with big games could get 1,000 yards. Gartrell and, of course, Washington-Wilkes, both Cobb and their back Tyson. And of those 3 running the football, Gartrell has been the biggest standout because Cobb has had a couple of big runs called back. And there's Jones, and Jones has done a good job.
Yeah, pick up a 10 on second down.
And like you said, he's done a really good job, some good hard runs. And there's Huff. think he might have bobbled the football there.
It's either that or a busted play of some sort. No gain. Well, you talk, AB, about how it feels like football weather. How about 61 degrees as we start this second half?
There you go. Looking at the stats, though, the funny thing about that time of possession, Lincoln County only ran one more play than Washington-Wilkes. You think they're not trying to take the air out of the ball here with Dalen Cobb? We said that was one of the keys,
yes.
Keep their offense off the field.
One of your forward keys to the game.
And, well, they just gave them, you know, the squib kick. Scott Skadden with WJBF, who's a red cap tonight, mentioned, you know, the squib kick, you give them the football in great field position with Dalen Cobb with those 20-some-odd seconds left, and they're able to get the score on that big pass play to set up the touchdown. And
that's on the keeper.
That's one that I think Homskis and his Red Devils would like to have back, probably, the game plan there maybe.
Interesting note from the halftime stats. The average starting position, field position for both teams, 34-yard line.
I don't think we've
ever seen that
ever
before.
Had
both teams had the same average starting position.
And the total plays were within one of being identical. And the yardage is not too far apart. I mean, 232 for Washington-Wilkes, 180 for Lincoln County. The rushing yards very close. Washington-Wilkes has a pretty good advantage on the passing side.
Pretty big third down here, 3rd and 5 for the Red Devils. Huff will throw. Well, now he'll tuck it. And he's across the 50 into Washington-Wilkes territory, and I don't think he got enough.
Yeah, Washington-Wilkes holding up their fist saying 4th down. He got a pretty good spot, but it's still going to be 4th and short.
Now what do you do from midfield? Just across midfield if you're Lee Homskis. An early Ken Nugent one call, that's all moment for the Red Devil coach.
Well, I think you see how thick that guy is. I think you've got a quarterback that can get you a yard, and I think it's worth the gamble here because you know how dynamic that offense is on the other side.
Here we go, 4th and 1 from the Washington-Wilkes 48-yard line. Or are they just going to try and draw them off?
Yeah, they were trying to there. Now I think they might run something.
Gartrell in motion. Gartrell the handoff. Gartrell the first down.
That's the same play they ran for the touchdown, their second touchdown of the game. They get Gartrell in motion, and the tailback becomes the lead blocker, and they give it to Gartrell on the run, and he trips and still is able to pick up the first down. So gutsy call, but I think the right call for sure for Lincoln County there in that spot on the field, needing a yard with the way they run it.
That's exactly the terminology I was about to use, gutsy call by Lee Homskis. But in a game like this, with possibly a region championship on the line, and again, if you're just joining us, both of these teams are 2-0 in Region 8A, the public portion of Region 8A. Both of these teams still have to face Commerce, as they're now going to measure for that first down. So hold the phone here.
Yeah, they're measuring it.
Yeah, I thought it was, yeah.
Yeah, he's got it by a pretty wide margin.
By a half yard or so. Both of these teams still have to play Commerce. In fact, Washington-Wilkes will be at Commerce next week. The Tigers of Commerce also 2-0 in the region. So whichever team wins this game will control its own destiny in the region. And the playoff implications that come with that, and home playoff seeding and all of that stuff. 1st and 10 from the 47. Confusion in the backfield, and Kevontae Jones was there to break it up.
Yeah, that was the quarterback and the running back just ran into one another. You know, Washington-Wilkes dropped that first game of the season to Laney. Laney, by the way, scored 2 touchdowns in the closing minutes of the game to come back and win that. Since then, they have won by 39 points, by 22 points. They had a close one with Elbert County. They won by 7. Then they won by 51, by 34, and by 28. They got a tight ball game tonight. This is something that they're not accustomed to.
That's a good point. Outscoring opponents an average of 38-13 so far this season. But in a dogfight here. 2nd and 12. Huff in trouble. Did he get rid of it?
He got rid of it, I think, but it was incomplete. Trying to go to Jenkins. And it was the same play almost that they ran for the big 3rd down on the pass to Jenkins in the first half. That time, he just didn't have time to throw it, and as Matt Lane pointed out in our ear down on the sidelines that a couple of the receivers might have run into one another on the play.
Yeah, the clock continued to run after the incomplete pass, so they're going to look at that, get the clock right. Yeah, the officials are pointing at the clock right now.
You know, these officials, we you know, a lot of times the only time you hear about them is when somebody's complaining about a call. But I got to give them credit. They're all the stuff they have to keep up with and all the things they have to keep their eye on, it is not an easy job, and it's a thankless job. And for the most part, it's been pretty good this year. We haven't seen a whole lot of oddball stuff or anything, so they've done a heck of a job. And like I said, it's not a job I want.
Been a couple times we were sure we were right and then saw the replay.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody's wrong once, right? Huff, incomplete, 4th down. And now another decision. This one might be a little bit easier to make for Lee Hops because it's 4th and 13.
Yeah, again, this, you know, 4th and 13 is a lot different than 4th and 1, obviously. So I think you're going to have to punt it away here and hope your defense.
So here comes Judson Beggs, our Augusta Sports Council Ray Guy Award punter of the game for Lincoln County. And, of course, earlier this in the game, in the first half, you saw Dalen Cobb, Washington-Wilkes, all everything, and punter.
That's another thing. This is only the 2nd punt in this game.
Desmond, oh, they got it.
Oh, he blocked it and he picked it up, but the referees, of course, you can't run
advance
with
it. But
so.
Wow, what a play. We'll have to look at the replay to see who got a hand on it.
That is a huge play. Gives them great field position, obviously.
Again, that's the opposite end of the field. I think it was Cavante Jones who was having a monster game here.
Yeah, Jones is, and he's not one of the more known guys on this defense. When you start naming names, but man, he has played great tonight and picks up a huge play there.
Oh yeah, to say the least. So 7:01 to play in the 3rd quarter. A huge play for Washington-Wilkes, and they'll have the ball at the 40. We get an upstairs shot. We'll tell you where the ball is. There it is, the 38-yard line. And it's Tyson pushed back.
And Nathan pointing out also Jones on the defensive side. He also is the one that caught the touchdown pass. The first score for Washington-Wilkes from Dalen Cobb on the short TD throw.
Judson Beggs, who just had the punt blocked, was the first man in on the tackle for Lincoln County.
And there's a look at the star of the night so far for Washington-Wilkes. A moment ago, you saw Dalen Cobb, and there's Beggs.
2nd and 10.
One of the Lincoln County defenders jumped, but got back. Apparently, he didn't cross the line of scrimmage.
Jackson.
There we go.
Got it. Jackson, sideline. 38 yards.
Well, we
Touchdown.
said the trio of guys, Cobb, Tyson, Jackson, get it to them in space. That is the epitome of getting it to your playmaker in space, and Jackson made it count.
.38 yards on the touchdown catch by Quinzanian Jackson.
Yeah, Franklin Brown took a bad angle there coming up to try and make the play, and Jackson made him pay for it with the touchdown.
His 5th touchdown of the year. We were trying to figure out why the crowd was booing, and our red cap Scott Skadden tells me it's a sideline warning against Washington-Wilkes.
Well, because I was looking at the scoreboard and they had not put the points up, but as you were
That's what I
talking,
was
they
wondering.
finally did put the points up. I was like, I didn't see a flag. They can't call that back. So, boy, now
Be enforced
Lincoln
on the
County was
kickoff.
moving the ball pretty nicely, then got stopped. And now they give up the points, and when they get it back, as Nathan said, you got to score when you have the ball because Lincoln County only had 3 possessions in the first half. You might not have that many chances with the football.
You know what I do in the 2-point conversion?
Probably something to do with letting Cobb do something, right?
If it ain't broke.
He is some kind of athlete. We've seen some good ones this year. Obviously, last week with John Tavius Curry and Tay Martin and Quinshon Hurst and the kids from Thompson and Burke County, of course, athletes they have. Throughout the year, Zach Blackwell at Augusta, Christian. We've seen some great runners from Harlem and other places, but this is one of the best right here, and here he goes.
And behind the wooden pole goes Dalen Cobb. Cobb's okay. That was Jamarquez Tyson who came up a little bit limping there, but Cobb is in for the two-point conversion. And it is 24-16. Washington-Wilkes strikes first in the second half. Red Devils get it back. Take a look at part of our camera crew high above Tiger Stadium here, and that is why you saw the wooden pole. It's an old school press box here at Charlie Davidson Field, and when you turn the camera to the left, sometimes it's like being at Fenway Park or Wrigley Field or something like that. Some of those pole load-bearing poles.
Well, they have not let it affect them for the most part tonight. Those guys have done a great job. As I said this earlier, I thought we were on a break and we weren't, so I don't know if the people heard me or not, but I was like, what a great shot. Mm-hmm. The color and just there's just something about Friday nights, and like I said, there's a little nip in the air, and we've got two great football teams, and
there's something special about this one.
There is for sure.
How's this for an efficient drive for the Tigers? 2 plays, 38 yards, and a whole 56 seconds off of the clock. And here come the Red Devils.
This is Cripe.
Franklin Brown.
Oh, no, that's Brown, excuse me.
And we haven't mentioned Brown. It seemed like earlier this year when we had them against Harlem, we mentioned Brown on virtually every play. And the Tigers have done a good job keeping him under wraps tonight.
Yeah, and that was Oakley. Again, with the Oakley Safford, who we mentioned earlier, with a nice hit. Little guy in there, not afraid to go lay the lumber on somebody, and he hit Brown. Brown earlier, we did mention him on the previous touchdown touchdown by Jackson. He took a poor angle coming up to make the play, and we, like you said, against Harlem, he was all over the field on defense. Let's look at the Washington-Wilkes D.
What was your prediction in the Augusta Press?
I predicted Washington-Wilkes, I think, by a touchdown and by 8, I think, if I'm not mistaken, something like that.
I'll have to look. 24-16.
That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Flag.
Still first down.
On the Red Devils. Lincoln County in that first half. 5 penalties for 24 yards. Washington-Wilkes is penalized 7 times for 50 yards in the first half. So first and 15.
Yeah, penalties cost them an entire drive. I mean, they had 2 really big plays called back on one particular drive. Now the Red Devils looking for an answer here.
Jones is the back, and he'll get the call. And a good hard run for 7.
Well, all year long, the top backs have been Gartrell and Jenkins. But I tell you, Jones is a good-looking back as well.
They're going to give him 10 on that. So gets a good chunk of it back on first down, 2nd and 5.
There's Jackson, who scored the last touchdown.
Second and 5 from the 48-yard line. It's Gartrell. Nice move.
Yeah, that was
He didn't fool Quinzabian Jackson, but
that
a nifty move by Gartrell, and it'll set up 3rd and short.
That little hesitation, stutter step, and kind of bounce to the outside.
Needed 5, got 4, 3rd and 1.
I mean, it was 16-8 not so long ago. We thought we were going to go to the locker room, and Washington-Wilkes comes up with two really huge plays. The pass from Cobb that set up the score, and then that block punt. I mean, you got to give them credit. They've made the plays when they've needed to.
The official has gone over to talk to the chain gang. And they're measuring it. I didn't think he was that close. And it is third down. It was closer than I thought it was. Well, now we'll come out here and do it. All right, so after all that, third and less than a yard. Devontae Jones urging these Washington-Wilkes fans to get on their feet. Got a little quiet here as things have kind of ground to a halt. Now we're ready.
Big play.
They don't need much, and Huff has it.
Like I said, when you've got him, he's a big, strong quarterback. Not maybe in height, but that, you know, thick, strong legs to be able to get those short yards anytime he really wants to, I think.
A fairway forward first down for the Red Devils.
Yeah, moving the ball has not been the problem. I mean, in 3 possessions, they had 180 yards in the first half. They've been able to move the football.
From the Wilkes 41. And Samaj Jenkins meets a wall of blue. Ball out.
And look who had the ball.
Devontae Jones has been everywhere tonight. I think they're going to say he was down before the ball came out. They are saying second down. So a pickup of 1 for Samaj Jenkins. We're under 4 minutes already to go here in this third quarter.
Yeah, it's like I said, these two teams not well for Lincoln County. They're usually running the football. They've thrown it some. Washington-Wilkes, they're just so high paced, you know. So you got, you know, both sides are running that clock.
And to your point, in the 4 keys to the game, the Red Devils still taking their time, running clock, down just the 1 score. Huff, keeper. Huff breaks free.
Oh, nice run.
Coming to the near sideline. Inside the 20, a fairway forward first down to the 7-yard line. There is a flag down. It was thrown as he crossed the 20-yard line. And this one looks to be coming back.
And John, you asked me earlier my prediction on the game. I actually had them a little more. I had Washington-Wilkes 32-19. So maybe apologies, Lincoln County. They've been keeping it a little closer. I had a 13-point win.
Both numbers still definitely in play, although Lincoln County would have to kick a field goal.
Holding
forte
against the offense. We'll repeat second down.
Block in the back against the Red Devils. And you can see at the top of your screen, if that was it.
Well, penalties really hurt Washington-Wilkes in the first half, and here, boy, it takes a huge play away from the Red Devils.
Is that Bruce Arians on the Red Devils sideline? Little thin to be Bruce Arians.
Well, like I said, you got to. You know, there's no time to think about the mistakes or the play of the past. You got to move on. And
2nd and 5 from the 35. Jones gets the call. They'll bring up 3rd and. Oh, they're going to say got it. Again, it's hard to tell the spot of the ball from where we are.
Yeah,
and they will be a first down.
Yeah, we're not high overhead as we
usually are
most games, but I just absolutely love.
This has been fun.
It has been fun, you know, right down on the field with the teams. Here in the you know, a moment ago, Huff was going to run right at our table.
So 1st and 10 from the 27. Yeah, Huff almost landed in our lap on the play that was called back. Here's Gartrell trying to get the edge. And well played by Jackson.
Might be a flag, yeah.
A little too much by Jackson, and the flag comes in.
Yeah, he was a good ways out of bounds when he was pushed down by Jackson, and they are going to throw the flag.
So that will negate the block in the back from 2 plays ago.
Yeah, it'll be half the distance. They'll get it at about the 13.5, somewhere in there.
So a big break for the Red Devils. Here's the call.
We have a dead ball, personal foul, late hit against the defense.
Oh, and actually,
yeah,
yeah,
half the
because they pick
distance
up the
to the
yardage
goal
too.
penalty.
I wasn't thinking about
It'll be
that.
1st and
So
10
the yardage
at the
on
10-yard line.
Right at the 10, maybe.
The official standing at the 10 with the football. Hey, easy on our banner there. The T-Mobile student section.
It was a nice advertisement. I don't know if it was, quite the Nike ball for Tiger rolling in the hole, but
not quite. So a fairway forward first down the easy way for the Red Devils. Or should I tell them that to Tevin Gartrell? And it is 1st and goal.
Yeah, the Washington-Wilkes players, you see them waving their hands, encouraging the crowd to get loud here. They want a little help.
Red Devils trying to tie it up. Huff keeps to the 6.
Nothing fancy about him at all. He is just hard-nosed and tough. Just nothing fancy at all.
Quentin Cullors on the stop for Washington-Wilkes. Officially, it'll be a pickup of 3. 2nd and goal from the 7.
And I am right. I get just a beeline for the right on the where the ball is spotted, watching the lines of scrimmage.
Gartrell pushed back at the 2.
In on that tackle was Cullors again. Had a little help that time.
3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Lincoln County down 8. 95 seconds left in quarter number 3.
That's what it's all about. We got movement.
The Tigers jump. Well, if you're going to jump, that's the place to do it.
Yeah.
Defense, half the distance to the goal. It remains 3rd down.
It'll move the Red Devils a yard closer.
Yeah, in that spot, it's 3rd and goal to go, really short, and you're just trying to make a play, trying to time that snap. You got movement with a man in motion and jump.
Jones, the running back. Huff keeps. No signal yet. Touchdown, his 2nd score of the night.
No give up in this team. No give up in either team, but, man, Lincoln County showing a lot of resiliency there on that drive.
What a ball game we have. The Red Devils, a 2-point conversion away from tying this thing up. Now both sides asking their fans to get to their feet.
This is such a huge play.
Jones is the running back. Huff under center. Huff will throw. It is.
Oh, what a
Sellers.
hit.
No good.
What a hit.
What a turn of events.
Well, both Nathan and Matt are saying, even though it was a big hit, that the player hit the pylon and maybe the 2 should have counted. We'll see if we can see it on the replay. Man, Desmond Kofer
on the
with
hit.
a monster play. And that is going to be discussed pretty heavily on Highway 378 over the next. Let's see if we have it. But, man, what a hit by Kofer. It was right in front of us. And because of where it was on the field, I don't think we have it again. This is a little bit of odd setup for us here. But what a hit. And it's not going to count.
I mean, what a play by Kofer. I thought Jones was in easy.
I did,
and
too.
out of nowhere comes Kofer.
And, man, what a play. I did jinx him because earlier before that, I said, I don't know if I've ever seen two teams get 5 straight 2-point conversions. And the record is over at 5.
Red Devils took 4:40 off the clock on the touchdown drive, and Trey Huff in from 1 yard out for the score.
And I was blocked. I couldn't see, but I do know that the pylon got hit because the official had to put it back in the ground. But didn't see who hit it. But Nathan and Matt immediately pointing out it looked like. And Scott Skadden, who was right there as well, is thinking the Lincoln County player bounced into the pylon. But just a great play by Kofer. And the officials were right there.
And
here we go.
Jackson with a head of steam, still on his feet, close to midfield, to the 47-yard line. And now if you're Washington-Wilkes, well, I was going to say you want to run clock, but the way they've been throwing the ball.
Yeah. Just can't say enough about that play by Kofer.
Don't forget, tonight at 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6 Football Friday night. We will recap this one. And as you mentioned at half with our South Carolina Governor's School for Agriculture scoreboard, a number of matchups with playoff implications. My man Colin Cody flying solo tonight. Football Friday night, 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6. Those matchups will be hard-pressed to keep up with this one. Washington-Wilkes with a 2-point lead now, and here goes Cobb again across midfield.
Yeah, good solid pickup, and, of course, the clock continues to run, and I don't know that 24 is going to do it tonight. They might need another score because neither team is, back down. Both teams have been able to move the football. If anything, they've hurt themselves on drives, with penalties and things like that.
Five-yard pickup for Cobb into Lincoln County territory. Now it's Tyson.
Yeah.
And he'll have the first down.
Because we haven't really called his name a lot for a guy who came in with almost 900 yards rushing, averaging 10 yards a carry. There's a flag down. We haven't really called his name a lot. It's been the Cobb show because coming into tonight, again, if you look at the numbers, Tyson, one of the top backs in the state in single A.
Holding.
Coming into tonight.
Offense.
83 carries for 856
Repeat
and 12
second down.
touchdowns. But tonight it's been pretty much Cobb and Jackson who've done the damage.
Real quick, let's squeeze in an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report from Matt Lane.
Thank you, John. So as we've seen with Lincoln County really being able to establish a running game and really control the clock, although they're coming from behind. For Washington-Wilkes now, it's going to be interesting to see if they can get that ball rolling and eat up some time going into this fourth quarter and see if they can keep Lincoln County's offense off the field.
Thank you, Matt. 2nd and 7 after the penalty.
And
Wilkes back into its own territory.
that's the 11th penalty on Washington-Wilkes.
Oh, goodness.
Whoa. Wow, I guess if you're going to go offsides, that's what you do,
Nigel
right?
Williams did not like that.
That was Cam Winfrey, big number 77. There he is.
And Williams, number 62, immediately calling for the flag. And I think he wants more than a flag.
Well, the helmet almost came off, so you got he obviously got him up near the face mask. There's a flag down.
Defense at the 5-yard penalty. Dead ball.
Yeah,
personal
foul.
foul.
Both. Yeah, they did.
Defense. At the other 15
Offsides on
yards.
defense and a personal foul.
And that gets the Tiger faithful on their feet. 21 seconds left.
Yeah, Cam got his money
quarter.
worth on that one.
He did. But it's going to cost the Red Devils a chunk of yards.
Yep. Because it's not just the personal foul. You throw on also the offside. So.
We've been fortunate in that every score tonight has been right in front of us. Now they are marching the opposite direction. So we will watch it with you.
If you're Lincoln County, the momentum has obviously shifted to Washington-Wilkes. And if you're Lincoln County, you obviously don't want to give up a score, but if you do, vitally important, obviously, the extra point to keep it a one-possession game, or the conversion. They doubt they're going to go for the kick, but still at the 31, though, 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
So it ended up being 20 yards worth of penalties. Cobb to throw.
Oh,
wide open touchdown, wow. Jackson.
Yeah, busted coverage there in the secondary for the Red Devils, and Jackson makes them pay with his second touchdown catch. Cobb, that was an easy one for Cobb. He is having himself a ball game, though.
31 yards from Cobb to Jackson. And Quinzabian Jackson had to look around and think he was dreaming.
Yeah, he was, 8, 10 yards from anybody, and that was the safety coming over the corner, was nowhere in sight. I don't know what happened there.
His 5th touchdown catch of the year.
And the Red Devils want to talk it over here because this is a big play. This keeps it a one-possession game if they're able to stop them here.
It'll give us a second to sneak in the.
And I was just correction real quick. Washington-Wilkes actually called the timeout.
And that was their first. That'll give us a second to sneak in the Stump AB trivia question, because who knows if we'll get a chance in the 4th quarter the way this game is going. We mentioned earlier that Lee Hopkins, the 2nd winningest coach in Vidalia High School history with 101 wins. Who did he pass to become the 2nd winningest coach in Vidalia High School history? This ought to be a gimme for you, but we'll see. I'll give you the answer in the 4th quarter, let you folks at home think about it. There was a context clue earlier in the game. "17 ticks left here in this 3rd quarter. Talk about coaches. Can't talk about coaching at Lincoln County without talking about the legendary Larry Campbell. 11 state titles, 33 region titles, winningest coach in 33 winningest coach in Georgia history, 477 wins. But since he retired, they had 4 coaches in 9 years at Lincoln County before Lee Hopkins took over, and he's really trying to restore some of that, what they're used to.
I laugh when I hear 33. Most coaches don't even coach 33 years. He won 33 region titles.
Region championships. 2-point conversion. Awesome trickery.
Yeah, easy, gonna get it.
And it's Grant for 2.
Diamante Grant.
How about that timeout by Sid Fritz to draw that one up?
How about Cobb as the lead blocker on that play? It was the reverse, and Cobb was out there blocking for Grant, and you saw all the Red Devils going one way and the ball carrier going the other. Boy, that is huge.
Well, we mentioned Lincoln County having 4 coaches in 9 years. Washington-Wilkes has had some legendary head coaches. We mentioned Charlie Davidson, for whom this field is named. He won 4 state titles in 14 years from 1957 to 1970. Those 4 state titles coming in the decade of the 60s. But they've had 9 coaches this century, which I had to look at that twice when I looked it up. But again, Sid Fritz has really brought some stability to this team, and it is reflected on the scoreboard tonight, up 10 with 17 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and he's a guy that could have gone really anywhere. I mean, with his resume, and it's neat to see these coaches appreciate that small town, what it's all about, high school football, and it is. Single A, double A in Georgia there's some awesome football being played.
He had retired after 29 years as a head coach, came here to his wife's works here and wanted to retire here, and he was the offensive line coach under former coach TCJ. And then the much documented situation, TCJ resigned after 1 season, and it helps to have a Sid Fritz on your assistant coaching staff. And how about this? The Tigers have it back.
Well, there you go, recovered by number 20. That's Christian Dorsey. They did the onside kick before the half. and got it, but the clock ran out. Here they do it again, and Lincoln County unable to hold on to it. And Washington-Wilkes, boy, this is a huge play in this game.
That was
and it was, I think, Beggs for Lincoln County. It was Judson Beggs who unable to come up with that football.
This is a foot on the throat moment.
Yeah, if you're Lincoln County, you got to get a stop here. You can't go behind 2 scores. Even though you've been able to move the ball, it's taken a lot of time. They're not a quick hit team like Washington-Wilkes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a vitally important drive for this Lincoln County defense. They've got to come up with a play. And this is where you're just imploring your leaders, come up, get the football back.
Likely the final play of the third quarter, and it's Tyson straight ahead for an 8-yard run. And that will bring us to the end of 3 quarters of play. Impressive showing by Washington-Wilkes in that third quarter. The Tigers lead 32-22. 1 quarter left to play in the 378 war. 12 minutes left to decide the 85th play of the 378 war. Washington-Wilkes with a 10-point lead and facing 2nd and 5 from the Lincoln County 38-yard line. Cobb will keep through the middle. And a fairway forward first down.
Nathan pointing out something. We're talking about the best teams in the area. Thompson, Washington-Wilkes in that argument. And another team is Silver Bluff. It looks like they're going to win. They've already won 55-0, John. That puts them at 8-0. They've outscored their opponents, have the Bulldogs, 370-41 this year. Yeah, folks, like I said, Washington-Wilkes in the argument, but Silver Bluff is in there as well.
11-yard pickup for Cobb as the Tigers starting to wear down this Red Devil defense. Cobb still on his feet.
Oh, man.
Ran about 15 yards to pick up 2, maybe 3.
You got a chance to see some of his moves there. Dalen Cobb, who's had a monster night. That leads us right into our QBs by the quarter. Dalen Cobb, 11 of 13 passing, 197 yards and 3 touchdowns. 8 carries for 67 yards and another score. Oh, yeah, and he's run into 2-point conversions. For Lincoln County, not a bad night for Trey Hump at all. He has carried it 11 times for 40 yards and 2 touchdowns, 4 of 7 passing for 65 yards. That's your QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware in Evans.
Cobb picked up 5 on first down. Will keep on second, and this time get pushed back.
Well, Lincoln County, again, they've got to come up with a play here. You can't let them – you're already 2 possessions down. You could not go down 3 possessions with 10 minutes left against this team.
Obviously 2-down territory for the Tigers. 3rd and 2. What a game Dalen Cobb has had. He has been everything we were told he is.
His next completion will likely put him over 1,000 yards passing, and he's might not get it tonight, but probably next week he might get to 1,000 yards rushing.
He'll keep again. Cobb inside the 10. Fairway forward first down.
He might have heard us. He said, wait, I can't get to 1,000 yards rushing tonight. There's plenty of game. There's 10 minutes left. What are you talking about?
Augusta Disposal and Recycling red zone, and it'll be 1st and goal just inside the 9.
You think he's not going to be fun to watch Border Bowl time?
Oh, boy.
$12 carries for 96 yards now. So, yeah, he might get to 1,000 rushing.
He is putting on a clinic. This time it's Tyson. Close to the 5.
And C.J. Zellers came up at the end of the play to make the stick. And
now the Red Devils are going to have to bow their necks here. Tigers 6 yards away from it. And as you said, AB, this score could possibly put it away.
Yeah, it would take some major work from Lincoln County if they allow Scoria to win this game.
2nd and goal from the 6. Cobb got a block for the pylon. Just short.
Yeah, Nathan's pointing out it was a great call. He hit the pylon, but he was out of bounds first. So Nathan, right on our spotter statistician right there, and it also didn't hurt that we're about 15 feet from where that happened.
3rd and goal from the 2.
That puts Cobb right at 100 yards. 101 on 13 carries to go with a nearly 200-yard passing night, 4 total touchdowns, and a couple of 2-point conversions. He is a special kind of talent.
And the coaches were screaming for a timeout on the Washington-Wilkes sideline. They saw something they didn't like. And the
Washington-Wilkes.
John, that gives Dalen Cobb, and I know we're harping on him a lot. He deserves it, though.
He deserves it.
That gives him now, he's got 3 TDs passing tonight. That gives him 12. He's got 1 touchdown rushing. That gives him 13. 25 touchdowns in 8 games for Cobb already. Over 3 a game.
Which reminds me, AB, we'll be awarding our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game at the conclusion of this one.
This might be the first time we don't have to come together and text to the crew who it is, because it's pretty obvious if Washington-Wilkes wins this game who the offensive is. Now, the defensive, that's a little tougher, but
we have some nominees there as well.
We've got some, and one of them, Cavante Jones, has been outstanding, had the block punt, been all around the football tonight. He would certainly be in consideration for that.
Also award the Powerade play of the game after this one. And the East Central Health District, if I could. Hey, it's a little chilly out here. Hit of the game.
Now, those might be tougher to pick.
Yes.
Because there have been some big plays and there have been some big hits.
We have our best people on it. 3rd and goal from the 1.
And if you're the Red Devils, so big here to come up with a play to stop the man who's been unstoppable.
Cobb.
I think they might have stopped him, though. Yeah.
It is 4th and goal at the 1. Trying to see who.
And Matt Lane saying the pull guard the guard that was pulling on the play actually hit Cobb and helped knock him down for the Red Devils. So
it was Donald Owens, by the way, who came up and hit him first. Big stick for the Red Devils.
Yeah, preseason All-Stater. Now, this is it here.
You cannot overestimate how big of a play this is.
You can see how close they are to the goal line.
Hey, Ken Nugent, one call, that's all moment. What will the Tigers do? 4th and goal from the 1. Cobb fighting, pushed back. No, they say he got in. They're saying touchdown.
Oh, man, the Red Devils are going to want to see the tape on that one because they thought they stood him up. Now, the official is right there. He's got the best
We are at an
point.
angle.
Yeah, we're at an angle. So are the coaching staffs, but let's see. Yeah, you just don't know from this angle, but obviously the official right there saying he broke the plane for the score.
Elation for the Tigers. Heartbreak for the Red Devils. And it is 38-22, and once again, the Tigers will go for 2.
Well, why not? It has been an effective tool tonight.
Cobb's 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. Now he's trying to direct traffic for the 2-point conversion, and through the back of the end zone it goes.
Yeah, that time he turned it on like he was going to run, then he threw it, and he just, put a little too much mustard on it, caused him to nose to go down, threw it a little low. That's the first 2-point conversion they've missed on, but that makes it a 16-point game, so it is still a 2-possession game for Lincoln County.
That it is.
So that was a huge play there to at least get that stopped after allowing the score.
.16 Washington-Wilkes lead, 38-22 with 7:43 to go in this one. Still time for Lincoln County, but as you said, AB, they're not a quick strike offense.
Yeah, it's true. And, you know, one thing that we did see early in the game was a nice kick return, a 37-yarder for Gartrell. If they do kick it deep, which they haven't been doing, a nice return would go a long way here. This is a deep kick.
And it is Gartrell. And it is a nice return. It is not Gartrell, it is Franklin Brown. And he's come up, shaken up, and a flag down.
31 yards from on the return.
So a good return is what the Red Devils needed. Looks like, well, I was going to say he's okay, still favoring that leg.
Gartrell trying to help him off, and Brown wanted, no, get away, no part of it. Well, the Red Devils don't have a lot of time here because they do need 2 scores. They need 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions just to tie it.
Personal foul, face mask against the return team. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. It'll be first down for the offense.
Throw some cold water on that nice return by Brown. Well, here's the deal. If you're the Red Devils, you got to score, and you got to score quick.
Yeah. Yeah, you know exactly what you got to do. And we mentioned they only throw it about 7 times a game, but tonight when they have thrown, 4 completions, 4 of 7 for 65 yards for their quarterback tonight. He's obviously ran the ball pretty well too. So if Trey Huff can engineer a scoring drive and get them right back in this thing here.
Backs them all the way up to the 26-yard line. Jenkins needs a block, and the hole shut quickly.
Yeah, against fast defenses, that's a tough play. It's such a long throw. It takes a while, and then that allows the defense to get a little pursuit. They're able to still pick up 4 yards, though. They got to have a little sense of urgency.
I was going to say, might need a little bit more giddy up.
And the clock is all the way down to almost 7 minutes exactly.
Off rolls, off throws. He's got Jones, and not much.
Yeah, that's big. Harden makes the tackle. Doesn't allow him to run near the sidelines and maybe get out of bounds. That's going to keep the clock running. And again, Lincoln County right now, not a lot of urgency about their offense, and they've got to speed it up here. Sure, you can always, if you score, kick an onside kick, but if you don't get it, you've got to have some time to get a stop and get the ball back.
I appreciate the tomahawk chop.
I do too, but for other reasons.
Thank you for Florida
We
State.
haven't been able to chop a whole lot.
We've done a little more chopping this summer than you have.
Yeah, y'all been chopping quite a bit.
Hopefully plenty to chop about this weekend as the Braves face Game 6 against the Dodgers tomorrow night.
Yeah, what a special year considering all they've gone through with losing their best player probably in Acuna. Well, Freeman's right there obviously as well. And
also lost Marcelo Zuna.
Marcelo Zuna and then
Mike
Soler here in the playoffs.
He came back last night.
Yep. And all the craziness in the bullpen all year.
Not to play
you know, that usually you
during
don't
their
see those
offensive
teams
sets.
struggling the bullpen survive the way the Braves have, and so it has been a pretty remarkable year.
Did not catch what that the official was saying. My apologies.
If you won't know what to do if the Braves and the Dogs and somehow the Falcons turn it around.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just worry about the task at hand here. Huff ahead on 2nd down and short, and he'll have the first down for the Red Devils.
He gets the first down. That'll stop the clock briefly. But here's what happened. The clock, the clock's going to stop briefly.
Get set, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and get set. Let's maybe get a couple of plays in there. As
Matt Ryan once famously said, get set. Added some other words. Huff to throw. And complete. Pickup of 6.
He's not big in size, but he's been huge in this game. Cavanta Jones with another nice play. He makes the tackle on Gartrell. There he is.
Give him 8 on that.
Don't be fooled by that size. That kid will hit you. He is a player. Touchdown catch tonight, a block punt. He recovered a fumble, but it was blown dead. He's been all over the place.
Back to Jones, and I don't think he got it. Nice play by Nick Harkins. First time we've called his name tonight. Another one of the sophomores on this Tiger defense. 53 tackles this year. 3 of them for loss. And they are going to grant the first down, so move the chains. Clock stops again for the Red Devils. 5:45, and now it starts again. And the Devils ready to go. Huff, first man not open. Checks it down. It is Gartrell, complete. And another first down. Now this Red Devil offense starting to hum, but is it too little too late?
Yeah, because as they're humming, the clock's moving. Again, you still are certainly capable. The first thing you got to do, though, obviously, is get the score and then worry about the rest. You got to get this first touchdown to give yourself any kind of hope.
Huff, and incomplete over the middle. Clock stops, 5:15 left. These two teams first met 100 years ago, 1919. They played in 19, 20, 21, and 22, and you talk about how heated this rivalry is. They didn't play again for 17 years because the spectators got a little unruly. And they thought it might be a good idea to cool things off.
Oh, yeah, this is a heated one for sure. But, you know, for the most part, it's been pretty well played.
On 2nd and 10, Huff wanted a bunch. Now he's running for his life, and he'll just throw it away.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to unload it downfield, and
that was the plan.
At the last minute, held up and was being pressured.
We are watching the Jefferson County-Putnam County game very closely, as we will have the Warriors next Friday night on Game Night Live against Westside, and their game has just gone final. Jefferson County loses 28-21. By the way, they're going to call intentional grounding on the previous play. You look at Lee Hopkins up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. He can't believe it.
Yeah, it looked like almost 3D, that vein popping out of his neck. Coming out of.
So another costly penalty for the Red Devils.
Well, there's still time, but
that didn't help.
They gotta execute right here and get 10 yards. Two plays to get 10 yards, or it's the ball game.
2nd and 27.
Or I say 10 yards. Looking at the score clock, or the scoreboard.
Huff, they need a whole bunch. He's just going to try to wind up, throws it across the field. Gartrell at midfield, and Gartrell gets free. Gartrell.
I heard a whistle.
I heard a whistle, but for now,
inadvertent?
It's a touchdown.
I mean, it was a live play. I don't see why.
It's a 55-yard score by Gartrell for the moment.
Wow, that will be tough to take if you're Lincoln County. Let's see what happened. I don't know why it would have been blown dead. Nobody was touching the quarterback. Did he step out? No. Well, hold on. Let's see.
The officials are talking about it at midfield.
Not even close. That should be a touchdown. But there's no doubt some Washington-Wilkes players stopped if you watch the replay.
Very important conversation right here going on at midfield.
I don't know if it was an inadvertent whistle. What happened? There's no question a couple of Washington-Wilkes players stopped. But
everybody heard a whistle.
Live. Yeah, the play should have been live. There's no question a whistle blew. I don't know why it would have blown.
And that's what they're trying to figure out right now.
Oh, my goodness. If this does not count, whoa, look at Coach Hopkins. Now they're giving a touchdown.
Wow.
Personal foul,
And
roughing the passer against the defense.
But how did the whistle blow before the roughing the passer? That's the question. And if I'm Washington-Wilkes, I'm mad because I did hear a whistle, and some of my players, on the replay, there was no question. One in particular was Desmond Kofer. He's just standing there as Gartrell runs by. That is that's tough.
Well, you and I are at the opposite end of the field from where that happened.
Yeah.
And we could hear the whistle clearly.
Well, who knows? Maybe it was a whistle in the stands, but everybody heard a whistle. And that is tough. If you're watching Wilkes, you're sitting there going, wait a second. Our players stopped on the play. The officials were walking back towards the play as well.
And it could
tough.
very well be, if it was a whistle in the stands, that the officials got together. Said, did you blow one? Did you blow? No, I didn't. Okay,
no.
well, touchdown.
And Nathan, good question. Do you take half the distance here? I think you do, because you got to have the 2-point conversion. So, or do you take it here on the kickoff? But yeah, that is a strange play.
And that is what they're doing. So they'll spot it at the 2.
Here it goes. Need this one desperately.
Gartrell.
Yeah.
That's not Gartrell. That's Shamaj Jenkins. And he's in for 2.
The little guy, not afraid to hit.
And we've got a one-score game.
How about that?
And you're right. Jenkins just lowered his shoulder and bullied his way into the end zone. We're not done yet.
Unbelievable.
This is turning into an instant classic. You'll be able to see the encore presentation this Sunday at noon over on WJBF News Channel 6. And one of these two fan bases going to get to relive another classic in this series. It goes back 85 meetings.
And hey, we talk about all the Dalen Cobb passing numbers. 9 of 13, 149 yards and a touchdown now for Huff, because that screen pass turned into a long 55-yard score for Gartrell, who is also starting to put up some numbers. What a game.
What a game.
Didn't know it'd be quite this high scoring, but these two defenses have had a tough time stopping the offenses. Again, we still have only had 2 punts. Well, really 1, because 1 was blocked. What a game. These kids will remember this one forever, especially these seniors. Tevin Gartrell now has 197 all-purpose yards. 55-yard catch and run for the touchdown. He had the 37-yard kick return and another nice return earlier.
Cameron Miller to kick it away for the Red Devils. And the Tigers fall on it at the 41-yard line. Nice hands by Desmond Kofer. Has had such a nice game tonight.
Yeah, Kofer's played well. He had the big, matter of fact, Kofer, who knows what's going to happen. That stop he made on that 2-point conversion earlier in this game could be real key.
Excellent point. 4:48 to play. Washington-Wilkes clinging to an 8-point lead.
We saw Lincoln County play earlier this year, and Gartrell was great. They won a close game in a kind of a game similar to this with Harlem. But we are seeing a different Trey Huff tonight. Mm-hmm. We didn't see that Trey Huff against Harlem, the one that's slinging it around tonight. And some different play calling tonight as well by Coach Hopkins and crew.
So will the Tigers be aggressive or run clock? A little bit of both on first down. It's Tyson to midfield.
Yeah, well, now if you're Lincoln County, you got to get a stop. You've done, what you needed to do. You've put yourself in position to tie this thing up if you can get the ball back, but it hadn't been easy getting the ball from Washington-Wilkes. They've only stopped them twice. They made them punt once, and they stopped them on downs once. Aside from that, Washington-Wilkes has scored every possession.
Fairway forward first down into Lincoln County territory at the 47. Cobb
just runs right into the back of one of his linemen.
Yeah, Jacko Hines leading the way for Cobb there.
And there's Huff. That young man has played himself a game.
Well, look at his jersey.
Well, because, again, not only has he had the monster game on offense, Trey Huff, and we've been talking about Cobb all this time, but Huff is also in there on every play on defense. Can't say enough. Leading tackler coming into the game, the starting quarterback.
Both teams with 2 timeouts left. Tigers in no hurry. Cobb.
Good job, Mike.
Zellers was in there first.
Yeah, Zellers beat a block and almost kind of pushed the defensive or the blocker into Cobb, and then he gets help from Franklin Brown. The key, though, is that clock is running. Now, this is a huge play here. You've got 4 yards to gain. You probably have 2 downs to do it. Or do you take a chance and go for it on 4th if you don't get it? Or do you try to let Cobb punt it and, pin Lincoln County back? First thing, Lincoln County's got to stop this 3rd and 4 play.
There's all sorts of movement.
Wow.
And the Red Devil coaching staff,
hey, that
exactly
might be
what they thought.
That might be
False
the first
start
middle
on
of
the
night.
offense.
Sid Fritz is
False
glad
start
that
on the
happened.
offense.
False start negated that bad snap.
3rd and 4 becomes 3rd and 9.
Yeah, different ball game now. But, look, you got a senior, you got a playmaker. You roll him out and let him decide. Is he going to run it? Is he going to throw it? I would be surprised if that's not what they do here. There he is, Dalen Cobb, who has been unbelievable tonight. 5 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 2 running.
Facing 3rd and 9 from the Lincoln County 48. Cobb.
Quarterback
Fake the
draw.
throw, then the draw. Still on his feet. Cobb.
Oh, look at that burst.
First down.
Look at that
and touchdown.
Look at that burst of speed.
46 yards. His 3rd rushing score of the night. 6th total.
Matt is trying to point something out to us. This burst of speed, though, watch this right here. When he decides to get to the corner, right here, he shifts it to another gear and just outruns everybody. What a run by Cobb. He has had a ball game. That is 6 touchdowns. Well, he said, hey, I got 3 passing. I want 3 rushing.
A performance for the ages on Game Night Live from Dalen Cobb.
We've had some good ones tonight. I don't know that or on Game Night Live. I don't know if we've had any better than this. Second straight time, though, his throw on his 2-point conversion was low. 18 carries, 154 yards and 3 touchdowns. 11 of 13 passing, 197 yards and 3 more touchdowns.
And the Tiger faithful here at Charlie Davidson Field starting to celebrate. All right, AB, let's sneak in the answer to our Stump AB trivia question. And, of course, we mentioned Lincoln County head coach Lee Homskus, the 2nd winningest coach in the history of Vidalia High School before he came to Lincoln County with 101 wins. Who is the 3rd winningest coach in Vidalia High School history?
I am going to say Sid Fritz.
And the answer is?
Sid Fritz.
53 wins. And, just another connection between these 2 teams. What are the odds that both of their head coaches would have had such a storied past with the same program?
No doubt. And a good program at that, Vidalia, over the years.
Well, Washington-Wilkes 2 minutes and 23 seconds away from moving to 3-0 in the region and setting up what amounts to a region championship game a week from tonight in Commerce.
And 7-1 overall. And, this is a quality win because this Lincoln County bunch is not bad. And they gave Washington-Wilkes all they can handle. But in the end, Washington-Wilkes had a kid in Dalen Cobb who just flat out is the best player on the field. And 6 touchdowns. He came into the game with 21. He now has 27 scores.
Both of these teams state quarterfinalists a year ago. And the Tigers will try the onside one more time.
And Lincoln County almost didn't get on that football. And finally, they do. It was, I believe it was Crite who got on it. C.J. Crite, so.
Well, let's remind you, next week, little Game Night Live history, as it were. Our first ever flex game. We saved the final 2 games of the regular season so we could pick the games that mattered most, and we will be at the battlefield for Jefferson County and Westside. The Warriors falling to number 7 Putnam County tonight, but that will set up a showdown for one of those teams is probably going to get a home playoff game, and it's probably going to be the winner of that game next week.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Jefferson County is the team that's good year in and year out. Westside not necessarily, but they're a heck of a football team this year. They got Zay Green, one of the best running backs in the state yardage-wise. They've got one of the best defenders in Hutchinson in their secondary. That is a good football team.
And we will see the Patriots and the Warriors 1 week from tonight on Game Night Live as Huff lets it fly. And it was there.
Yeah, he threw it right to the receiver, just unable to hold on to it.
James Danner back in coverage for Washington-Wilkes.
Yeah, well, there was a Danner. Remember Corey Danner here? I'm assuming the little brother. Now, Corey Danner was a heck of a running back and receiver here. Now, Huff had all sorts of time to throw, but he took a shot at the end of that play. He's gonna need an ice bath, but he's played a heck of a game though. You got to give him a lot of credit.
He's gonna need some laundry detergent as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But you like to see that. That means he has played a good, hard-nosed game.
Well, in Lincoln County again, they came out here and gave Washington-Wilkes fits.
But Washington-Wilkes gave them Fritz.
Yeah, I was thinking it in my head, and I did. Good job, John Hart.
Teamwork.
Yeah. Matt Lane just walked over and said, "Get out." There's Sid Fritz.
I'll be here all week, folks. Yeah, good look at the second-year head coach of the Tigers. And let me tell you something. They pay attention to these sorts of things in these parts. Sid Fritz now 2-0 against Lincoln County.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And what does that make it, 4 out of the last 5?
You can get a lot of free lunches by beating Lincoln County every year if you're Washington-Wilkes head coach.
Now, technically, there's 2 minutes left, but it's going to take a miracle for the Red Devils.
Huff checks it down to Brown.
Yeah.
It's good to see Brown back up. He was shaken up a little bit earlier. And we're inside the final 2 minutes now. Lincoln County will likely fall to 5-3, 2-1 in the region. And regardless of what happens, so theoretically, let's say this, if Washington-Wilkes does go to Commerce next week and beat Commerce in the Battle of the Tigers, then Lincoln County has to play Commerce. I believe that game is in Lincolnton, and that game comes for a home playoff game, essentially.
That will be a huge one, yeah. Well, the Red Devils.
I missed the flag, but it's going to march the Devils down into Washington-Wilkes territory. Oh, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Washington-Wilkes band. Boy, we haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I don't know how long.
We've seen a few warnings here and there, but yeah, the band playing while the offense was trying to operate.
So that's a lot of yards for the Red Devils, and I mean, never say never here. With 107 seconds left. Huff in trouble, out of trouble. And he'll pick up the first down.
Nice
What
run.
a play by Trey Huff.
Yeah, nice run. Again, we're seeing a different kid tonight than we saw against Harlem. You know, against Harlem, it was pretty much the running back show for Lincoln. And you know, they were able to run the football at will that night. But tonight, Trey Huff has had an outstanding game. He's been overshadowed by Cobb because most nights you put up the numbers he's put up, and you're the player of the game, you're the star. But tonight, Cobb's just been a little bit better. But a heck of an effort tonight from that young man.
Our director tonight, Kyle Thomas, Mike Lebrikowski on replays, Josh Recor on graphic, Jeff Singleton on audio. Our camera folks, Darius Davis, Z. Riley, Reggie Mackey, and Antonio McFarland. Running the field grip tonight, Hannah DiArco, and our sideline camera. Field mic is Zach King. Yeah, the helmet came off of number 35, but a nice play by, I believe it was Myers.
Myers.
Joseph Myers.
Yeah, Joseph Myers, the sophomore. We haven't been able to mention him much on defense tonight, but a big hit there. And 35 is Murray. Lawrence Murray lost the helmet there.
Red cap Scott Skadden and Master Control back at Television Park, keeping us on the air as always. The man, the myth, the legend, Levi Crawford. 2nd and 10. Red Devils trying to get in the end zone. Make this one a little bit.
Oh, what a catch.
How about that?
What a catch.
Franklin Brown. We said we hadn't called his name. There he is.
What a catch and what a throw. And Huff with another play. Again, this is a different kid. Unbelievable. And now, hey, they've got two timeouts.
24 yards on the touchdown strike from Huff to Brown.
What a catch. We saw one earlier from Washington-Wilkes, and there Brown with a defender draped over his back. He makes the play.
Jamarquez Tyson was in position, but just a great catch.
They're going to kick it to make it a 7-point game. What a game, man.
Wow, Cameron Miller, who is 3 out of 3 on field goals this year.
What a game.
They rarely kick a PAT.
I mean, most times you have these big.
Trouble on the snap. Huff going to try to make something out of nothing. To the end zone. And it is picked off by Jackson.
Still a 1-possession game, though. They're still only down 8.
And the Red Devils will have to go onside kick.
But so many times you have these big matchups and they just don't live up to the billing.
This one has
more than lived up to the billing.
While we have a moment, want to thank Danielle Springsteen for pinch hitting this week and helping us out on Game Night Live. Our great friend and colleague Marlena Wilson had a death in the family this week and wasn't able to. She does so much. Marlena does Monday through Friday to get Game Night Live on the air. And we miss her tonight. We're thinking of you, Marlena. We're praying for you and your family. And we thank Danielle for pinch hitting this week and helping us get this game on the air. And what a game it has been. 44-36. And not done yet. The Red Devils, an onside kick away from possibly having a shot at this thing. Don't forget the McDonald's Offensive and Defensive Player of the Game coming up at the conclusion of this one. The Powerade Play of the Game, the East Central Health District Hit of the Game, all coming your way in the post-game show in 1 minute and 9 seconds. And how big was that penalty on the band?
Yeah.
If the Red Devils can execute this onside kick, that might be one of the weirdest and biggest penalties we've seen.
Well, and you think about all the plays that have come into the whistle, the inadvertent whistle. I mean, there's been a lot of craziness in this one.
All comes down to this. You got the hop.
They got
it. The Devils have it.
Are you kidding me?
Lincoln County has life.
Are you kidding me? This is unbelievable. And I think it was number 12 for Washington-Wilkes, Andrew Meach, if I'm not mistaken, a sophomore backup quarterback who went up and tried to catch it high, and he could not hold on to it. And the Red Devils are on top. They have the ball with a chance here. We were already – 55 seconds ago, we were saying 3-0 in the real, and I don't, of course, I mean, it looked like an obvious thing. And now all of a sudden, and Lee Hopkins hadn't given up. He's over there talking to his offensive coordinator. Let's see what they do here.
Text your friends. Tell them to tune in. 65 seconds left. Lincoln County 53 yards away. Huff. All kinds of time. Oh! Incomplete. Zellers thought he had it.
Well, Dalen Cobb, look who made the hit. The game's on the line. Number one is on the
Put
field.
Your best player on defense.
Whether you're on offense or defense.
Importantly for the Red Devils, the clock stops with 59 seconds left. Both teams with 2 timeouts.
Franklin Brown, a good thing there. Zellers was fired up. He didn't want his teammate to get a penalty. He was basically dragging him off the field. A penalty in this spot would be devastating.
Brown, just a junior, showing almost senior leadership there.
One thing Washington-Wilkes is doing, they're in that prevent defense. They're getting no pressure on Huff, and they're allowing him just to run around back there.
Yeah, I think the Red Devils jumped.
Well, that'll make it 2nd and 15. Either they jumped or that official's about to do a TikTok video. One of the two.
Please, no. Anything but that.
Anything. Man, what a game.
We've had some great games on Game Night Live this year.
This is going to be up there. In this rivalry, this is going to be one talked about for a while.
Lakeside Greenbrier was one for the ages.
Oh, yeah, we've had
Richmond Academy, Augusta Christian.
It has been crazy, the games that have come down to the wire this year. We've had a few here and there in other years, but never like this where we've had so many in one season. And think about the individual performances by Trey Huff, Tevin Gartrell, by, of course, Dalen Cobb. I mean, it has been big play after big play.
56 yards away, and it is complete. And the tackle made by Tyson, or else that was going to be a big gainer. But it will be a first down. Clock will stop with 51 seconds left.
His head was slammed to the turf, but he might be.
And, Brown is down.
He was slammed down by Tyson, and he might have got his bell rung there.
And second time Brown's been shaken up tonight.
You know, he's made 2 huge catches to keep his team in this thing. The touchdown and that was a big play as well. So 51 seconds left, down 8. Hey, and if you're Washington-Wilkes, also keep in mind Washington-Wilkes got their first 4 2-point conversions. That missed the last 2 though.
Huff from the 39, picked off ball game. And it is Jamarquez Tyson for the exclamation point for Washington-Wilkes.
You hate to see it end that way for Trey Huff. He's played such a good game, the game of his career, and you hate to see it end like that for him. But for Tyson and the Washington-Wilkes Tigers, they come up with a big play. And, you know, Sid Fritz said, hey, I want my playmakers out there. And Tyson, their leading rusher, makes the interception.
Jamarquez Tyson. Such a big night at running back on offense, makes the big play on defense. And the Tigers are going to win the 378 war for the 2nd straight year.
Yeah, just a huge play. And let's see it.
Just read it perfectly.
And, you know, like I said, Huff has had a great game. And, you know, in these situations, sometimes you have to throw into coverage, and that's what he had to do. And Tyson made the play. So Washington-Wilkes, as the officials blowing the whistles here.
Timeout, Washington-Wilkes.
And
That's their 2nd timeout of the half.
Washington-Wilkes calls timeout. They'll go into victory formation. Lincoln County can technically stop the clock a couple more times. The Red Devils will move on to face Greene County next week down in Greensboro. And as we've mentioned several times, Washington-Wilkes will go face Commerce in what will amount to a region championship game.
Talk about not giving up, man. This Red Devil team, I mean, they were down for the count and just came battling back. And I mean, we talked about all the 2-point conversions. Think about the onside kicks tonight, too. It's a little bit of everything.
It has been a weird, wild, but wonderful game. And we've said this about a few of our matchups this year, but it's a shame one of these two teams had to lose.
How about 812 yards of offense tonight between the two? 80 points, 812 yards.
As Cobb takes the knee in victory formation. Well, AB, I don't know if you know this or not, but you could say that Washington, which is a historic town, is where the Civil War came to an end. This is where Jefferson Davis, who was the president of the Confederacy, met with his cabinet for the final time and officially dissolved the Confederacy. And this Washington-Wilkes team hoping to make a little more history here.
Yeah,
they are marching their way, if they keep this up, toward Atlanta.
Yeah, like I said, in our area, I think there are 4 teams with legitimate chance for state championships right now.
In our area.
In our area. Yeah. And I would say Washington-Wilkes is one of the 4. I think it's Thompson, Washington-Wilkes, Silver Bluff, and Bamberg-Earhart. I think those are the ones that have a legitimate. Anybody could, but I think those are the ones with a really, really good chance.
Lincoln County stopped the clock with 32 seconds left.
But they knew they were in a fight tonight. Lincoln County came out and gave them everything they wanted in the first half, had the lead briefly, and then didn't give up when they fell behind late. With 2 minutes left, it looked like the ball game was over. But Lincoln County was able to get the long touchdown pass and then the onside kick. But in the end, it was a little too much Dalen Cobb. And Washington-Wilkes is going to get the victory. And there goes Cobb. He's going to be the guy in victory formation to get the football. So good win for Washington-Wilkes, but nothing to hang your head about it, even though I know they will, because you want to win this one so bad, but nothing to hang your head about if you're the Red Devils.
Yeah, it'll be a long trip down Highway 378, but still plenty to play for Lincoln County. And who knows? These two teams might see each other again. It has happened before.
Yeah.
As Cobb goes into victory formation, the ball came out.
Well, when his knee.
And Lincoln County has it!
Well, hold on, though. If he's in victory formation, the minute his knee hits the ground, he can't be hit. So if he's hit and loses the football.
Did his knee not touch the ground?
I got it. Yeah,
this is interesting.
I don't know if we can see it again, but I mean, this brings you back to. He said they're not arguing it. Matt says Washington-Wilkes is not arguing it.
Just when you think
Joe
nothing.
Pizarchik, miracle at the Meadowlands.
Right?
Yeah.
Just when you think nothing crazier can happen in this game.
How many times are we going to count Lincoln County out? They're just saying, wait, guys. Wait, I ain't saying a word. I want to see zeros on the board before I say anything.
Well, there's 27 seconds left, and Lincoln County still has that one timeout.
Is Franklin Brown in there, their top receiver? Remember, he got banged up.
Huff being chased. Complete. Jenkins out of bounds. Clock stops. 21 seconds. If nothing else, Lincoln County is going to have a couple of shots at the end zone.
I don't know that I've ever even seen that. I mean, in victory formation, and again, he had to have been bobbling the ball, because the second he gets it, he takes a knee. So you can't, once he gets hit, it doesn't matter what happens.
We have seen some things tonight we have not seen in a long time, sometimes ever.
Unbelievable. And Trey Huff is right there trying to engineer another score for the Red Devils.
2nd and 3 from the 35. Huff again buying time. Under pressure. And they'll have to waste their. No, he's still up. Now they play blow the play dead, and that might draw a flag, and it will, and that is a massive penalty against Washington-Wilkes.
That's tough. I mean, if you're Harden, boy, that's tough, because if you're Harden, you're in the process of that's a tough one. If you're, that's one of those that if you're Lincoln County, you think it's a penalty. If you're Washington-Wilkes, you don't. And if you're anybody else, it could go either way. I mean, it's just but man, that is a tough spot, because he's trying to make the sack. The quarterback is still trying to run.
Dead ball,
man, that is
personal
tough.
foul. Here, it'll be 3rd down.
You can't hear the whistle on the replay. Live, it appeared to me that there was at least one step taken after the whistle.
And that's obviously what the officials thought as well. And, I will say this, it seems like, not that it's a bad thing, but so many the Lincoln County players tonight have been, like they grabbed them, twisted them, almost slammed them down so many times. And even though that's technically not it looks violent. And in that situation, the quarterback's going down, and you think it's a dead ball as well. At least that's what the officials thought.
Now,
and they're right there, and they are on top of it. So.
Here's the other thing. As all of that was going on, that running around took a lot of time off the clock. So now, even though this penalty is going to be a massive break for Lincoln County, you're only going to have 12 seconds.
Yeah, but
and one timeout.
Yeah, but now you can throw it in the end zone from where you are. Before you couldn't. And there's 12 seconds.
And it's second down. You're going to get 3 shots at the end zone if that's what you want to do. Or do you try to throw short and get even closer?
And they're going to call timeout here.
Well,
Well, here's the tough part, calling timeout there. If you are caught in bounds now, you've got to run up and try to spike it. This is, that's a tough spot. And, look, maybe you're just saying, here's what we're doing.
And maybe
giving them all the plays. Yeah.
And this is also reminding them you have to get out of bounds.
What a game, folks. Doesn't get any better.
They will talk about this one for a long time in this rivalry.
All this. I mean, like I said, they've been counted out. They've been counted dead, and the Red Devils just keep battling. yeah. Hey, goodbye.
Nathan Edwards points out that the T-Mobile student section at Washington-Wilkes
Nathan's pointing
chanted,
out,
hey, goodbye twice now, and both times Lincoln County's gotten the ball back.
Again, I'm saying nothing till I see zeros on this scoreboard.
Hey, look, I don't have to be up at the crack of dawn to go to Athens in the morning. We can play all night.
You and Nathan both said that. No Georgia game tomorrow.
I don't think Washington-Wilkes wants to play more than another 12 seconds.
No. Lincoln County would love it, though.
And a flag down. Boy, coming out of a timeout.
False start.
Goodness. We'll back him up to the 35.
Well, we've seen him throw. He can get it to the end zone from there. And Franklin Brown, by the way, is back in the game. He looked like he took a big shot, but he's in there. And he is the receiver who they like to go to the most. He made the big touchdown catch earlier.
Well, let's do the math here. You're 35 yards away. It's going to take 6 seconds at least to get to the end zone. So you're basically looking at 2 shots.
Yeah, 2 plays. Now, do you go short and try to go to the sideline? Obviously, that's what Washington-Wilkes is going to be guarding against. Or do you go across the middle where they won't be and try to hit a big one?
Again, no timeouts for Lincoln County. Throwing. And this will be it.
This is it, 1 play. You're right, John. You said they'd have 2. It went from 12 to 6. Well.
So as Eminem once said, you only have 1 shot.
Well, the offensive line here has got to give their quarterback time. He's had time throughout this second half to throw the ball. They've got it. The last couple of plays, Washington-Wilkes has been getting after him. They've got to give him some time because he's going to have to set up and really unleash it. He's not going to be able to he needs some time to do that and some space. And he's not going to have it. It all
comes down to this. Huff fighting for his life. Down he goes. And the latest battle in the 378 war, won by Washington-Wilkes.
There's Joseph Myers. What a game.
I believe it was Lawrence Murray who finally got Huff to the ground to seal the deal for the Tigers.
What a game. I mean, both teams you hate to see it for that kid. Number 10.
Played his heart out.
Played his heart out.
His uniform is a different color.
I bet Lee Hopkins respects the heck out of that young man.
All right, let's go to Matt Lane for an Augusta Auto Auction sideline report. Standing by with the victorious. We'll let Matt Lane get set up here for a second. As the teams shake hands, and I'm telling you what, these 2 teams, neither one, Washington-Wilkes, the victor, Lincoln County, nothing to hold their heads about. What a hard fought. This thing's called a war. It felt like it tonight.
It is a war, but you see the good sportsmanship after the game. These kids know one another. Good to see that because it's easy to be disgruntled after a tough, hard-fought game like that, but you don't see it. Good sportsmanship on both sides.
All right, now to Matt Lane with the victorious head coach of the Washington-Wilkes Tigers, Sid Fritz.
What a finish, Coach. They get the onside kick. It looks like they're still in it. And then the final 30 seconds seemed like it took about 5 minutes. Can you walk me through that last drive there?
Well, if they ever have 30 seconds to live, I hope we're playing Lincoln.
Just a tremendous effort. You can't speak enough about Dalen Cobb and how well he played. Defense showed up when they had to. Can you speak to that?
Well, we're not real good defensively, to be honest with you. We got 5 sophomores playing on defense, and they're learning. They're better today than they were 8 weeks ago, and hopefully by the time we get to the playoffs, we'll be pretty good over there.
Well, thank you for your time, Coach. Go celebrate with your team.
Thanks.
See, that celebration is on, and what a
line of the night.
What a great line from Sid Fritz. If he ever has 30 seconds to live, he hopes he's playing Lincoln County. Because, boy, oh, boy, if you're a Tiger, that seemed like forever.
That isn't quite the come get you some from Matt Lazat, but it's up there.
It was close.
Oh, man, great line.
It was close.
Great line. What a game.
Yeah, what a game. Washington-Wilkes a winner 44-36. We will award our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game, the Powerade play of the game, and the East Central Health District hit of the game, all coming your way on the post-game show. So that's next on Game Night Live.
And welcome down on the field for our McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. We have Tanika Colors from McDonald's with us to hand out some hardware. A terrific finish here for Washington-Wilkes as they take Lincoln County and beat them right there towards the end of the game. Just a fantastic finish. Wonderful crowd out here tonight. Want to hand out the hardware on defense first. It's going to go to number 3, Cavante Jones. Tremendous effort on defense, and big plays really is what solidified him as the defensive player of the game. And then on offense, number 1, Dalen Cobb, another terrific performance in the air, also on the ground. And Dalen, it seemed like every time you maybe came off onto the sideline, you noticed that you had one less rushing or one more passing, and you tried to even it out. Some big plays passing, but can you talk about running the ball tonight?
I got to give a shout out to my offensive line. I won't be able to run the ball without them. Is
it more fun playing against Lincoln County just because it's the rivalry game of the year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did Coach get you guys ready in any special way this week to play this game, or does he not have to do that?
He don't have to do that. He get us ready the same every week. We just got to go out and finish.
Well, you guys got a big one next week as well. Want to thank everybody for joining us tonight for Game Night Live for the McDonald's offensive and defensive players of the game. Back to you, John.
All right, Matt, thank you, and congratulations to the Washington-Wilkes Tigers. By the way, you heard Dalen Cobb say something very interesting there at the end of that interview. He said that Coach prepares them play the same every week. That's one thing Sid Fritz told me yesterday, is that whether it's a rivalry game, no matter what it is, he wants them to prepare the same every week so that they play the same every week. And you can tell that is a message that is stuck with this team.
Not let the game get too big. I think that's a little bit about what happened last year in this matchup with Lincoln County. And they almost lost. But for the second straight year on Game Night Live, they win in 4 of the last 5 against the Red Devils.
All right, a few more superlatives to hand out. First, starting with our QBs by the quarter, brought to you by Culpeper Ace Hardware.
Yeah, no doubt. And Trey Huff in a losing effort game of his career. 14 of 21 passing, 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. Did have the 1 interception. He carried it 15 times for only 33 yards, but he had 2 more scores. So he had 2 rushing and 2 passing, and Dalen Cobb had 3 of each. Cobb, 11 of 13 passing, 197 yards and 3 scores. He ran it 20 times for 149 yards and 3 scores. And Cobb went over 1,000 yards passing, and he's very close to 1,000 yards rushing as well.
Let's get you our East Central Health District hit of the game. Oh.
Yeah,
that was from the first quarter.
That was Donald Owens.
It was Donald Owens, yeah. That one stood. We said at the time it was a nominee for hit of the game, and hit of the game it is. Congratulations to Donald Owens. Lincoln County doesn't get the win, but does get some hardware as the hit of the game. Now, our Powerade play of the game.
Yeah, they had a lot to choose from here.
This is a tough one.
900 yards of offense almost. And it's Dalen Cobb, that quarterback draw.
Had a feeling he might be involved in it in some way.
Look at this. When he turns it on right there and just outruns, all those guys had angles on him. They couldn't stop him. 6 touchdowns tonight for Cobb, 3 passing and 3 rushing.
That was a 54-yarder and to the house, and Lincoln County, or Washington-Wilkes, a big winner here tonight. AB, final thoughts on this one as our buddy Chad Cook gets the interview with the players.
Well, I think it shows, Lincoln County, we knew they're a good football team, but I thought Washington-Wilkes was just a step better, and the key to that is Dalen Cobb. He's just such a difference maker, and he had a great game tonight. And, that was the difference, I think, because Lincoln County, give them credit. They gave Washington-Wilkes all they can handle. But in the end, Dalen Cobb was certainly the key to this one for the Tigers.
We will recap this one on Football Friday night coming up at 11:35 over on WJBF News Channel 6. Colin Cody flying solo tonight back at Television Park. He'll have highlights from all of the big matchups across the area. Again, Football Friday night, 11:35. Actually, not coming up, not too long from right now, about a half an hour.
Yeah.
We got to hurry up and get home to watch Football Friday night, 11:35. And don't forget the encore presentation of Game Night Live. A lot of folks from Washington going to be tuning in on Sunday, high noon, to watch their Tigers win the 378 war against Lincoln County. For our statistician Nathan Edwards, Matt Lane on the sidelines, our broadcast partner Ashley Brown, we will see you again 1 week from tonight from Westside when the Patriots take on Jefferson County. Until then, good night from Washington.